This guy said go back to running your pyramid scheme. Oh my god, so good.
I'm gonna ask Neil to log, or I'm gonna send this link to Neil first. All right, we should be live here in a few seconds.
Oh
So
wait, should we get the number and give it to Sheed if he still wants to call in?
Yeah.
Okay.
find it.
All right. Let's just. So Ben wants us to communicate via text once we're live. So
That's fine. I have it up
yeah.
on the. I have it up.
Yeah, I have iMessage up too.
Okay. I got it. I got the new phone, so it's not working right now. So it's iMessage for me.
How's the number? Dial by your location. I think it's this number. Andy, I think I'm gonna text this to you right now.
All right.
And if not, just have him click the link that I sent you in the chat, and then we can just get him on Zoom audio. Or but I think that's the phone number to call in. I'm gonna ask Neil to sign on.
Unfucking real.
Do you have the link?
Unfucking.
Dude, I just sent it in the group chat.
Perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna look at it. Oh, nice.
Just put on mute.
I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna keep it up. I just wanted to
look at myself.
Oh, okay. Did you tell Neil he can email it?
Yeah, I think he did. There's people in the chat now.
Cool. Oh, nice. That was quick. Oh,
what is up, premium listeners? Gonna put on my happy radio voice while I secretly want to kill myself. Oh God.
Are we live? Was that live? Was that the first 5 seconds?
Oh
my God.
We'll keep you updated as soon as we hear something we can say regarding the Clay news. I guess I'll start here. I don't know if Andy's heard different, but I've yet to hear anyone say good things or anything positive. It's a lot of thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be great. I don't know what you can say. I don't think we can speculate on anything, so we probably won't. But to me, it feels like it's something that it's like you can't avoid it. What was he playing open run? He was like working out or something. It's like he's not going to play open run. He's not going to work out. So it's really like one of those things where it's just truly unlucky. He's one of the few guys that you probably think, yeah, he took rehab seriously, right? Of all the guys in the NBA, he's the guy that probably took it as seriously as it can be. So it feels like he probably took all the right steps, and something like this still happens. So I think it's just
it's worth noting that Clay is the type of dude who would also try to play when the doctors say take it easy. So not to speculate or anything, but like my biggest fear with Clay is not that he won't put in the work, it's that he'll overwork himself.
Yeah.
And that's my fear.
Yeah. Though again, like we don't know if this is from overworking or anything like that, but it is a and it just sucks because the Warriors, they were ready. Like this was going to be the. Actually,
I was feeling really, really good.
It's still going to be. It's still the same importance of a draft. Like, do we want to talk about that for a few minutes? We got someone that we got to have come on here in a few. But
I mean, we got multiple hours here, so yeah, let's do it.
20 hours. To me, it feels like this doesn't change the way you view the draft, though, Sam. Like to me, this doesn't mean if you have Anthony Edwards as your fifth guy on the board, this doesn't all of a sudden mean you got to take him at 2. Like that's not what it means to me. There should be no reason for you to do that.
Yeah, for me, the only thing this puts into doubt is they can't make a win now trade. They can't do the thing where they trade the number 2 pick for Marcus Smart, because You only do that if you got Clay and Steph and you're like, it makes more sense to add a piece right now. You don't know where Clay is. We're praying high ankle sprain. He's out 6 weeks, misses the first month of the season. End of the day, no big deal. But without knowing the severity of his injury, you can't even entertain that stuff because you can't just throw away a number 2 pick for a solid role player only to find out, what you thought was going on with Clay is just worse.
Yeah, it would appear that they were thinking about that this morning, or for the last 4 months. Like, hey, can we get?
They have to think about it. I mean, when you're when you got Steph, Clay, and Draymond, you're in contention. You're doing a disservice to not at least entertain those offers.
Yeah, this is and this says a lot too about the traded player exception. Do they now still use that? Because I think you obviously strike down like a Gordon Hayward trade, right? We saw that rumor come out. I think we heard the
number 2 for Wiggins and Hayward, or sorry, the number Wiggins 2 and Wiggins for Hayward. Yeah, like you're not doing that now. There's no gain to do something like that. So,
somebody said torn Achilles. It's official. If you look at the comments here,
is it official?
Well, I don't know, but you can keep talking. I'm going to go try to look on my timeline.
We're going to count. Hey, I'm going to ask you guys in the comments. Don't link if Woj or something tweets the official diagnosis because we can't. It's I might not see it immediately. So, do you think we'll find out tonight? They're getting X-rays and everything done. They obviously don't want people to know immediately.
Yeah, I think. Well, I tweeted that you don't get an MRI that quick, like the results. Like they may think like they could do like an ACL. Dr. Andy, you can do an ACL test, like a physical ACL test, and you can say, oh, that might be an ACL, but that doesn't tell you that it's confirmed an ACL until you get an MRI.
Someone I don't know who this person is. Love Bass.
Someone's trolling. We'll go through it. But with the MRI, that usually takes a day. Like even when Steph sprained his knee a few years back in 2016.
Achilles.
No, Steph in 2016. When he sprained it, they had to get an MRI and they didn't get a result until a day or two after. And I remember we were waiting for results in like the middle of the day. So they probably won't confirm this thing until the next couple of days, and that's probably why they said that. If it was a broken ankle, right? It was like a broken kneecap or something like that. Like they'll know in 10 minutes with the X-ray. So I'm praying.
And quite frankly, a doctor, if it's a break, a doctor can just feel like that's broken. Yeah. And then you scan, and then you usually X-ray it to figure out how bad a break it is, right? So, oh god, this sucks. This royally sucks.
This is as bad as it gets. Now, I want to ask you this: how does this affect using like the traded player exception? I don't think they were on the fence on whether they should want to use it or not, but now
I think it affects who you target with it. I think maybe you're targeting players who maybe are targeting Kelly Oubre now because he's younger, right? Like we've had this discussion. Who's going to help the Warriors in the playoffs in 2020 more? Rudy Gay or Kelly Oubre? It's probably Rudy Gay, right? But if Clay's out and you're not thinking that timeline, maybe you need to think a different timeline. Maybe you need to look at a developmental plan.
Sam's about to punch a wall. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that. We got Woj. By the way, Woj's hair, he should just go bald. I'm thinking he just gotta let it go.
He's holding on. He's holding on. But
by the way, way too much LaMelo Ball talk in the last couple of days about how he should be the pick and about how he's the most talented player. Too much LaMelo Ball, Sam. I'm sick of it. It's not happening. Enough.
Do you think the Warriors would take LaMelo Ball if Clay's out for the year? If he's torn his Achilles, Clay may never be Clay again. You have to start entertaining that as a real possibility, right?
We are on a dark path.
And does that change your calculus? Do you look at LaMelo or Anthony Edwards as guys who you have to now consider because you need a star. You need someone with a little more more panache.
So Oh, by the way, we have an Asian girl in here. Look at that. One out of 150. Ben's like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think this changes the calculus of who you're going to pick at all. Right now, if there was someone I think like maybe as physically talented or someone that was like James Wiseman, but at the wing level, like some 6'6" guy like that, you were like, oh, should we take him or Wiseman? Then yeah, now you're like, all right, I'll take that wing guy. But then you're like Anthony Edwards, who, if you've seen the stories that have come out in the last few days about Anthony Edwards, right? And then you've got LaMelo Ball, who doesn't seem like he's going to fit in the system at all, no matter what's going to happen.
Who gives a fuck about the system, dude? Like, I'm gonna be blunt. If Clay is out for the year and he may never be the same, Steve can go. Who gives a shit about the system? At this point, you got to start looking to acquire talent and build a system around it.
Are we building around? Are we building around LaMelo Ball? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're all in. Big baller Sam. I don't know if he's the. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I think he's even the most talented player. Like,
Yeah, I disagree with that so much. I think that's the default statement, right, Sam? It's like, oh, LaMelo Ball is the most talented guy. He's the highest upside. Take him. Is that right? Is that true? That shouldn't be an obvious thing.
Like he's definitely the smoothest at handling the ball out of a pick and roll, but Ricky Rubio is pretty smooth at doing that too, Yeah. So, and that's not like an insult to Ricky Rubio, fine player, but like, are you like, gotta take Ricky Rubio,
Hey, listen, they might have Ricky Rubio. They might end up getting Ricky Rubio. So I don't know where to. You keep joking. You keep joking. Yeah. We do have our special guest joining here in a couple of minutes. So this is where I wish I was right now. This is where I need to be. I need to be blacked out in the bottom of that pool, just COVID pool, and not listening to these Clay news.
And I agree with you, Matt Collins, in the chat. LaMelo struggling against random Aussies. I'm not a big LaMelo guy. Like, I had him 8th on my big board, and it's less because I think it's less because of his talent, more because I just don't think he'll be a winning player, I guess is the best way to put it. But my point is, if you can't just be thinking about the system. You have to, at some point, they need to acquire the highest upside talent, period. And to me, that's more likely to be Edwards or maybe Patrick Williams or someone like that, where you're talking about developing a guy who can be a dude, as opposed to just looking for the system fit. You know what I mean?
Patrick Williams, number 2 on my board. By the way, I wish we had the board in front of me, but I had Denny Avdia at 1. I had James Wiseman.
If you think Denny's the most talented player in the draft, go that route. So.
Seb looks like he's about to murder someone at this point. Bring him in, Ben. Hell yeah, absolutely, bring him in. Oh boy, this is gonna be great. Sheed, can you hear us? Sheed is connecting to audio.
You got me?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm trying to drive and do this with one hand.
What is up, Sheed?
I don't know, man. The world just. Well, I don't even say the world ended. The fucking world already ended this year, but.
Hey Ben, can we throw up a picture of that shirt that Sheed's got dropping in 20 minutes?
She's like, fuck them shirts.
Again, would feel a lot better if Shams and Woj didn't tweet like 45 minutes ago about everything.
Are we live right now?
We're live,
Sheed.
Premium only though.
Yeah, it's premium only. Yeah.
Only the elite goons here.
Yeah.
None of those drive-by listeners.
I don't want to say anything off the record.
No. We haven't. Sam and I haven't said anything. So are you? So you're driving right now. Is there a chance you're gonna drive just straight off the road?
You know what? Like, honestly, like during the pandemic, one of my favorite things to do is like just to get out the fucking house and it's just to drive, right? Like just go drive around the city for like an hour and shit. I like literally might just drive for fucking like 48 hours straight today. Just no reason to stop.
He's going up to Portland. He's just not coming back.
I think you guys can see it. There's a Love of the Game shirt that Warriors World is releasing. It'll hit the timeline in 15 minutes, Sheed?
Yeah, hopefully.
Something like that. So I'm gonna have to buy all Clay apparel right now just as a sign of respect.
Dude, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought it was like I was hoping it was one of those like fake accounts.
Right.
And then it was like, oh shit, it's really Shams, and then like instantly like panic just set in.
Was he playing pickup? Do you know what he was doing? Was he like working out? What's he doing?
I don't even know. I mean, who knows? They said he was working out, so I'm assuming he was playing ball. I mean,
yeah.
But
I don't really know how you get I don't know how you get a lower leg injury just lifting. It's got to be. He's got to have been playing some sort of pickup.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, yeah, I don't think he pulled a Monte, so it has to be probably playing 3-on-3, 5-on-5, or some shit.
Shit, we might be going back to the Monte era pretty soon.
All right,
Dude, this is. You remember, like, this was like when Monte got hurt. It was like a late night because they were in Hawaii or something. No, this was when Monte got hurt in Hawaii and they took him out on a stretcher. Do you remember that injury?
Oh my God.
It was like during practice, he got hurt in Hawaii, and then like a tweet or some news came out like in the middle of the night because they were still behind us, and it was like, oh, Monte got wheeled out on a stretcher, and everyone just like, holy shit, like, the fuck? It's the same exact vibe. Like, you just see it, and then it's like, oh man, like, you don't want to think like you don't want to think like the worst, but I mean, I don't know, like I don't think there's much optimism for it not being a serious injury at this point.
Yeah, Shams doesn't tweet that when a dude rolls his ankle.
Just my friend just texted me and said he cried a little bit because Clay got hurt. Now that's some real.
I mean,
wow.
Within the next hour, we're both going to shed tears. So, especially when they trade the pick for another Smiley Geach.
At this point, it's like fuck the draft, man. Like,
right?
Who they draft? Like, whatever, bro.
Who do you want, Sheed? Who's your guy?
I just kind of felt like it was going to be Wiseman or Edwards, but I mean, the closer you got to the draft, it just kind of felt like Edwards, like, I mean, you rarely see this for a clutch guy. Like, he was getting like negative, stuff from the media, you know, like you don't, I mean, when was the last time you heard like a clutch guy with some like ridiculous quotes or a story that comes out that's not like super like fluff and makes him seem like the most incredible prospect ever, a guy ever. So
I'm almost thinking they're getting good at the game. Like they're trying to, they're going the opposite route. They're like, we don't want Minnesota to pick him, so we're going to leak some terrible stories about him.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like, if Drew Holiday can go for 3 first-round picks, like, I don't know, at this point, what can we get for Steph? Like 15 of them?
All right.
Whoa.
All right.
We're not playing those games.
Ben, mute this fucking. What the? What is this shit? I thought you were going to say Draymond, and I would have been like, hell yeah, absolutely. Maybe they can get a couple second rounders for him. You know what I mean? Then this guy comes in with Steph. Oh, I'm sick. Build around with number. Huh?
Yeah, we would have to send out like the number 2 and the Minnesota pick to get rid of him.
You gotta send out the Minnesota pick, number 2, and 3 pick swaps to get Draymond to Detroit. It's the only thing you could do.
it feels like the pick swaps like just started taking off the last couple of years. Like I don't remember ever like pick swaps being so talked about or like heavily pursued before.
No, it's like Ainge did it with the Nets. And obviously that worked out. I can't remember which one was a pick swap. It was either Jalen or Tatum was a swap acquisition. And since then, like it's just the coolest thing to do. It's like, no, don't just give me picks, give me swaps too.
Oh. Hey, She, what you think about this tweet that we just saw on the timeline? Nate Duncan. he tweeted Dynasty is over in 2019 when Klay tore his ACL, and then he just retweeted himself again. Your thoughts?
I mean, way to go out on a limb.
Oh
man.
man.
I don't know. Like, what's the point of like retweeting it? That's like the Kuz tweet. Like, I mean, the dude just got. I mean, if he just suffered another injury, like, do we need to like fucking pour salt into the wounds? Like, I mean, it wasn't like the dynasty got beat. It's like motherfucking devastating, gruesome injury after injury. Like,
yep.
Yeah. When did Nate turn into just a immigrant dad who's just uncouth? Just like Andy comes home heartbroken, and it just Pop's just like, this is why you don't date women or something like that.
This is hitting close to home.
He's fed up. He's fed up with OZ going at him, so he's like, I'm start far back with that squad.
That's his revenge on option 0. He's just saying fuck off.
Would be hilarious if you like triple charge them for his annual fee just for that.
You know how it's like the Athletic, they pumped the charges up during the pandemic, so it's like I all of a sudden got this weird charge for way more than I paid before. Option 0 gets like a $500 charge.
Jesus. Yeah.
Oh man.
Anyways, I mean, has there been any like late rumors for the Warriors? Anything in the last hour you guys seen?
I mean, it's all just Klay watch.
Yeah.
It's all just Klay watch.
Because we're saying even like she think like if there are moves, like you move down and get like a decent player. You saw that Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart rumor.
Yeah.
Like even if you have that right now, like you wouldn't do that thing. Like what the hell is Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart going to do for you if there's no Klay Thompson, right? Like you're going to be like maybe a Western Conference Finals team, maybe. You know what I mean? So it's like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just. I mean, fuck, like. Oh man, I mean, like 90 minutes before the fucking draft, like, how do you like?
Do you think they'll take LaMelo or Edwards now?
How do you even like pick a direction to go in right now? Like,
do you think they'll take LaMelo or Edwards?
That's like, I mean, you're damn near like if you take Melo. No. Hope. I mean, I don't see Melo, but I mean Edwards maybe. But when I think of Edwards now, I just think of like him at like Benny Hanna with like the fucking food and shit.
Yeah, that's an elite story right there.
Well, okay, how about this? I think this is if
pictured it like Japan now.
Japan. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking. I celebrated my birthday there a couple years ago. I think this might.
Oh, we know the story.
All right, we're not telling that one. With 9 minutes to go, with 9 minutes to go until the draft, I think if you are the Warriors and Klay Thompson is out for the season, why don't you just trade him for picks? Somebody's got to want it for picks. I'm just gonna assume here. Let's say you don't want to go win now. You don't want Hayward. You don't want Smart. You don't want these guys. Just trade him for picks, and then just trade him for as many picks as you can. Like that might be the only thing that you can do. Second pick.
Yeah, I mean,
get off of Wiggins, right? Like that might be the play. Like it's not tanking, sort of, but it kind of is.
Yeah. I mean, shit. If it's a serious injury, like, I mean, I don't even think. I think like next year, like, I mean, obviously this season's already you're fucked. Like next season, he might be out for like what, half maybe.
Yeah.
So into a 5-year max, you might be looking at a guy who's out for the first 2 years. Like that's unprecedented. Like this is like out of a fucking horror movie.
Oh, yeah. That's
Clay, ACL, KD Achilles, Steph Curry broken hand, Draymond Green just trash, and then Clay Thompson Achilles, or well, who knows? Whatever he has, right? Like who knows? So,
And Joe Laker might be fucking in the lab with the lab coat on 24 hours a day, now trying to cook up a real vaccine for the world. Fucking.
I mean, his front office isn't doing him any favors. He might as well contribute. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, who do you think who was the first front office member who got the call about Clay? And like, what's your like? You gotta be like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, is this someone playing a prank on me?
you think Bob Myers start crying?
100%.
I mean, yeah, because he probably started. I mean, I don't know, bro. If like fucking fans are crying, I'm assuming Bob's crying because.
Bob's a sensitive guy.
Like, I mean, you know, Clay really feels like your fucking best friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're one of your homies. Like you just like, oh man, this, like wow. Like, if he goes down again, it's like.
It is crazy. Clay is the one guy on the Warriors that has never been slandered by any fan base.
Yeah, the only person that slandered him was KD.
Yeah, well, KD got mental illness, bro. He slander anyone.
KD was mad because no one KD was slandering Clay because no one was slandering Clay for the shots he takes. It's like, bro, like, come on, bro. Clay like the epitome of an like if you think of an NBA player like growing up, what that life must be like, right? Like just get buckets, get paid, and then just get hosed. Like, I mean, like Clay lives that. Who would want to be Clay?
Well, that's KD's problem. He's like, damn, Clay got hosed.
Oh, and the best part is you never get killed because everyone loves you. So no, like you could go 2 for 15 and no one gives a shit.
You know what? You know why? Because Clay don't give a shit. You know, I feel like if Clay was out here like moody and like fucking being an asshole to people, like people are probably slandering him. But Clay doesn't care if he goes 2 for 15. KD out here goes 15 for 18 and then whines about how he's not getting enough credit. I don't even know how we got on KD. Please don't throw. What's that?
He's whining about you and Urkel.
Whining to me and Urkel about to Sam. Please don't throw Scoop B rumors in the chat, please. We're talking real rumors tonight.
Yeah, we need to keep it.
Scoop B says Knicks and Warriors are talking.
You know, just because you're throwing some Scoop B in, I'm about to change the background here.
Dude,
you guys did this to yourself.
His fucking trade rumors like never work cap wise. Like it's like the dude is like oblivious to like the salary cap and like the hard cap and anything. He's just like throwing out random fucking names and he's like, oh, they're talking. Like, all right, bro, thanks.
Yeah, sources say Warriors gonna trade Jordan Poole for Giannis. Like what?
Yeah. Like he told us KD and LeBron were about to team up in LA. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, if you fucking hit one thing out of like 400, like you can't just put insider in the bio.
Yeah.
Everybody inside. Sam an insider. Actually, Sam a legit insider. Actually, I think about it. Jesus, can you take? You can't see it, but Sam has a life-size picture of Alan Smiley-Geach behind him. So this is
Smiley about to get a lot of shots this season.
Smiley about to like lose 40 pounds and become a 6'11" shooting guard.
He's like 6'8".
He's like 6'8". I'm so disgusted right now. Scoopy is the guy in your fantasy league that just offers he just talks about trades to every team and then calls them real rumors. That's what he does. Oh man.
I'll be back in a minute, my guys. We gotta get ready for the main show real quick.
How about you guys doing the whole draft?
We're gonna do we'll see here. But we're planning to go live for at least until the Warriors pick, and then once they pick, we got 3 guys coming on. We got Bonte. Oh, that's gonna be fun. And then we got who do we have? Ben, who do we got? Who's the second guy?
Slater.
Slater. We got Slater, and then we got Andrew Sharp, and maybe Golliver. So.
Well, all right, guys. I'm about to hop on, about to hit some dead cell spots. So.
All right, She. Thanks for coming on, brother. Don't drive into a ditch, huh? See you on the other side.
Yeah, depending on the news that comes out, yeah.
All right, man. Thank you, bro.
All right.
Oh, Sheed. Shouts to Sheed for coming on. If you don't know, he just launched some new shirts, Love of the Game, a little bit of a collab with Steph and Clay. So you can go ahead and buy those on his account, on his website. We actually have a few giveaway boxes, right, Ben, that we're gonna do tonight. Sponsored by Warriors World.
Yeah. Yep.
So I can't wait for that. Wait for whoever brings up Smiley. Not gonna get it. I'm not giving it to anybody that talks about Smiley. I'm maybe if somebody mentions a K-drama, I'll give it to them. Sam's not gonna be happy about that one. But we are a few minutes away here from the draft. So I'm excited. I'm still excited because, I'm looking at this draft and I don't think this was ever kind of like a thing where these guys were going to trade and get someone that can play right away. Like, I don't think they were seriously going to do that Gordon Hayward, Marcus Smart trade, even if Clay was healthy. Like, it may have gone down to the wire, but I don't think that was the type of win now trade that they wanted to do. And I don't know if this injury is going to affect that too much. So if their guy was James Wiseman, I don't think that they're moving off of James Wiseman at the moment. I think they're still just going to draft James Wiseman. I don't think they're pivoting to LaMelo Ball. I don't think they're pivoting to Anthony Edwards. If they wanted to trade down and get another first round pick or something like that and get Isaac Okoro, like, they can do that. But I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they were ever gonna. I don't think that's something they should change, even if Klay Thompson is out for the season. Bro, that Smiley pick is absolutely scarring.
All right, I'll take it off before we push the link to everyone else. Neil, by the way, go ahead and send that link out. Which one do I want to go with? Let's go with the official draft here.
Shouts to Mike Meekus, who helped the little PR for us. Tweet that. And we're almost live.
We are about to be live. It is time.
God, I need like 20 trades tonight. I just need like the adrenaline. I just need the high. By the way, Sam, did you see the Bogdan Bogdanovic trade is not going to go through?
I did. Hilarious. Hilarious.
Your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I would say that opens the door for Giannis, but this Clay news makes me think the Warriors don't really have a shot to do anything. So, I don't know. It's not looking too good right now. I'm honestly feeling it. I'm a little in my feelings right now. There's no other way to put it.
Hey,
a lot of feelings going
Sam,
on.
do me a favor. We got a couple minutes. I think Neil's pushing out the link. Oh, we got the link. The link's out. Do me a favor. Grab a bottle of tequila. Grab a handle of tequila. Take like 3 shots. And we'll get this thing rolling.
Should we do a shot before people come?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one. I have a bottle of Macallan. I won't shoot it, but I'm gonna go get it. I'll be right back for everyone.
Let's get this baby going in a minute. Neil, did you tweet that baby? Did you tweet that out? Nice. Appreciate it. Let's see what the chat has to say. All right, guys. Draft night, somber, not exactly the draft night we were expecting. I don't know, Ben, how do you feel right now? Producer Ben, where is your head at? It would be great if you didn't mute yourself, Ben.
All right, it's my first time on the pod.
This whole thing's going down tonight.
I picked the wrong day to wear this Feel Like Game 6 Clay.
Right.
but I'd planned to wear it all day, and I figured might as well pay homage to the guy, despite this awful news and this awful turn of events. But not feeling good. I was very excited. I'm still excited to. I mean, you guys always do a great show, so I'm excited about that. Not feeling as spry and happy as I was probably like an hour.
Let's get to brass tacks here, Ben. Let's assume Clay's injury is serious. And does that change who you want the Warriors to pick?
I don't think so. I don't think you can panic this close to the draft. I mean, you've done months and months of work. To pivot now, I think, would be panicky and not a good sign for what your front office has been doing. Look, if they change their mind and they kind of pivot to LaMelo or Edwards, like, you can kind of understand it, but I'm hoping that they don't. They kind of stay the course because, again, a lot of work has been put into this. So I think you gotta ride it out and hope for Clay's return. What, a year and a half from now? Oh, Adam Silver's.
Oh God.
Oh,
Ben bringing the energy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Woj, but guys, feel free to drop like real time tweets that Woj, Shams, whomever is tweeting.
Please, only reliable newsbreakers. I don't have time to double check it. I do trust our listeners. Our listeners are the best. Lightyear's community is the best. But yes, sorry, Andy, cut you off.
No. The Timberwolves remain on the phones discussing possible trade scenarios with the number 1 pick. So I think they're taking it down to the wire here, Sam. I think that's important because it seems like Charlotte's going to move up if it happens to take Wiseman at 1, which would mean that the Warriors have to trade down, right? Like that's the only option for them.
Or they take Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, my big thing with the Clay injury would be, if it's serious, they can no longer start thinking about drafting for fit, and it has to be purely, we need the best player, because whatever version of Clay comes back post injury, you can't count on Game 6 Clay and like the guy we knew over the years to just be one of the most lethal shooters and a guaranteed 20, 25 points a game. He might enter a different phase of his career, and they might need to start considering maybe LaMelo or Anthony Edwards at this point, when someone like Wiseman, he makes a ton of sense if you have the Splash Brothers and you really just need a guy who can do big man things.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think Wiseman is still the guy that you built the team around. If you're staying there at that pick, again, I feel like the best option now, we were talking about it a little bit on premium, but is that you just trade back and try to get as many assets as possible. Maybe New York or Oklahoma City, or somebody gives you 2 firsts or something like that, and you get 2 shots at it. I don't know. But if you're staying there, I don't know if Anthony Edwards is that super talented guy that you end up taking that gamble on. You know what I mean? Like, I almost rather get Patrick Williams at 4. If you're going to want to gamble, Sam, and you're going to want to gamble on athleticism, talent, size, all of that stuff, give me Patrick Williams. Like, I want that gamble more so than someone like Edwards.
I do agree with you, though. Like, what we're talking about is conceptually the same thing. It's time to gamble on upside instead of playing it safe, because you may not, if Clay's gone, that they're not winning a title next year, period. It's not really it's not really in the cards. They may be able to make the playoffs. They may be able to make some noise, but they're not winning.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. You see that? Yeah.
Barring a trade, Anthony Edwards is the number 1 pick.
Ooh.
Not surprising. Actually,
I don't know. Little surprising.
Yeah. I don't know. I appreciate Neil getting on here. Let's get Neil on the show for a minute. Let's get intern Neil on here. We need to hear intern Neil's thoughts here.
By the way, still 3.5 minutes until the pick is official. Feel free to throw questions in for the listeners.
We'll try to answer as many as we can. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I got to go get my shot because I'm taking a shot when the Warriors pick, because it's that kind of day.
Yeah, please go get out of here. I do have a lot of Asian glow going on. Shouts to whoever said that. Look, man, it's been a long day. It's been a long week. So it looks like, so Sham said it was a heel injury. Yeah, that's kind of been what we're hearing about. But No reason for us to speculate. We're not Shams, Woj, we're not doctors. But that does seem to be that does seem about the same of what we heard so far. So it's tough. If Anthony Edwards goes at 1, that makes it tough for the Warriors. Now, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of value that you can get. Charlotte wanted to move to 1 to get Wiseman. It looked like Boston wanted to go at 1. Looks like Detroit is even thinking of moving to 1 or 2 to Wiseman. Man, if I'm the Warriors, I'm moving it back. I'm getting out of this thing. Rational Andy. Look. Couple more shots to go. We'll get there. Sam had to take a couple shots, so he won't be back for a while. He might just fall into a ditch. Sam is taking it tough today, huh, Ben? You see him? He can't even get out any analysis. It's a rough day for him. Rough couple hours.
I mean, can we blame him? He was so about the show in the group text all day, and then this happens like 90 minutes before we hop on the air. Like,
right.
Just like it's a gut punch.
Yeah, there was nobody more excited. Neil,
what is up?
You're live, sir.
What is going on? I mean,
I
was in a Zoom meeting and for work, and then I just checked my phone, and man, my mood just, I don't know how much lower it can go right now, but yeah, it sucks. I don't know, not much to say about that.
What do you think the Warriors are going to do now? Obviously, this changes the calculus. I feel like before we got the Clay news, it was either going to be Wiseman or some sort of bigger trade to kind of give him win now talent. Now, I'm not so sure they can play that game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They love Denny, right? I feel like I've seen that like kind of theme consistent from like, the last few weeks. I mean, that's actually kind of what I hope they do, because I actually really like Denny from what I've been reading, and I feel like his upside is high. He's still really young, so he's like kind of a guy you could say, we're going to develop him. He's going to be like a high upside guy. And I don't know. I mean, it could be LaMelo. I don't really want LaMelo, to be perfectly honest, because I don't know. I don't really love his makeup, and his decision making is pretty questionable, and his shooting is. I mean, he's not a great shooter either, but I feel like he's one of those guys who would work at it and get like really good at it if he could.
Oh no, I think Denny could shoot. Don't you worry. That's my guy. Yeah. That's my guy at the top of the board.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a shooter. I think he's going to be very good. I think he's like Danilo, but he actually passes, creates, and is smart enough to move off.
Official Shams has tweeted Minnesota is selecting Anthony Edwards.
That's a good fit pick.
That's good. Yep. All right. Warriors about to be on the clock, guys.
Ooh. We were planning to hopefully get a couple hundred people. We do have 600 and up right now, so this is fun. Edwards going at 1. Everyone's saying Edwards as 1. All right, Sam, are you recovered a little bit? Do you feel a little bit better? For the new listener, Sam's been going through it during the premium 30-minute segment. We had Sheed from Warriors World on. That was a fun time. Everyone who just jumped on, make sure you check out his shirts that he just came out.
By the way, thanks, Neil. Let's get the ad for let's get Sheed's ad up here. Let's see if we can get that up here while we wait for the Warriors to pick.
Whew. That's why I like
Ben, you're on mute.
No, he's good. He has it up.
No, I meant the video ad. Oh wow, we're really working through it right now.
Oh, we're working through a lot of things. We're working through.
Hey man, it's that Clay news threw us through a loop right here. We're gonna Anthony Edwards, the first overall pick. Does anyone know if there's a Benihana's in Minneapolis?
Pure silence. Although, I do hear, Minneapolis has good food. I've never been and I never will be, but I've heard they got good food. I heard they have a nice little Asian population too. I can neither confirm nor deny, but if there are beautiful Asian women there, I will certainly make my way there one day. Wow, Sam's doesn't even like that joke. Oh my God. It's a rough one, guys. It's a rough one. All right, here we go. All right, Anthony Edwards. Confirmed, selected. Wow, they've got these like little animations that are on TV. Wow. Warriors on the clock. They are officially on the clock. We have waited 15 months for no. We have waited like 10 months for this. Sam?
I just can't like the whole. Oh, we have an official news break from Shams. I'm told the fear is that it's a heel injury.
Yeah, I went through that.
Ooh, not the trainers worked on his heel as he limped off. All right, what are we thinking here?
Yeah, that confirms with some of what people have been saying, right? Heel can only mean, Sam, one thing.
Yeah.
It can only mean an Achilles. Like, to me,
I mean,
if it's
or
serious,
plantar fascia.
Yeah, right. I hope, fingers crossed, that's plantar fasciitis. I have plantar fasciitis and I have calf issues, but I think that
so
Clay,
do I. I think that's just because we're old, though.
That hurt. Yeah. It's not great news. It's not great news.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping, I guess we're all hoping it's a strain or something other than obviously a torn Achilles. That's the worst case scenario. That's what none of us want to happen. And, you know, I guess we just got to think good thoughts of them, but it's pretty hard to not be pessimistic and a little worried right now.
Yeah.
I think that much is a fact.
We are 2.5 minutes, Sam, though, from the pick. Come on. We are 2.5 minutes. Oh, boy. Do we have someone joining us? Oh, Sam went to get another drink. Oh, I'm just going to take over. This is my show now. Yeah, Ben, I think he left for a second. People are just hoping for heel contusions and hoping for bone bruises and hoping for anything. We will see. But here's what's interesting to me right now, Sam. The Warriors are 2 minutes from drafting, confirming, and there is no news. There's no tweets. There's no nothing. There's no trades. Are these guys actually taking it down to the wire? And we just got news as I say that.
And the Warriors officially select James Wiseman, huh?
Oh, and that's it. Wow.
We'll see if a trade comes up here. We'll see what happens.
Targeting James Wiseman with the second pick. So we spent weeks
here.
Well,
that's Woj. Targeting is code for I'm not allowed to formally tweet it because my employer will suspend me.
So we spent about 10 months here guessulating on what they were going to pick at 2. The last month or so, we pretty much honed in and thought they would pick James Wiseman with the second pick. They end up actually not trading and picking James Wiseman with the second pick. So they hold true to form. Your thoughts?
I think it's safe. I think you never know what's going on with Clay, but they're potentially thinking he's the best player of the top 3. And at this point, draft that guy and worry about everything else later. I guess they're not going the LaMelo route. I guess they're just going to stick with Wiseman, and not much else to say here. I think it's the right pick. I think that's the pick that you should do. I think there's no one there. Like some people talk about like big versus wing, big versus guard, right? You talk about like Greg Oden versus KD, although Greg Oden was going to be a good player. You talk about DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic, even Marvin Bagley and Luka Doncic, but there's nobody like that in this draft. There's no one. There's nobody here that you're going to say, hey, we're going to pick Edwards. He's a surefire star. Not going to happen. To me, it feels like James Wiseman is that guy to be a surefire good center. We also have news that the Hornets are taking LaMelo. They did not wait long to announce that. So good for them there. But let's focus on the Warriors here as we wait for Bonte Hill to join us. It's you know what? It's just really hard to talk about this when I don't know what's going on with Clay, right? Like if we know Clay is healthy, we can have a serious discussion about how he provides him a rim runner and he's going to take advantage of all the space and they can really compete and all those fun topics and everything. But until we know what's going on with Clay, it's kind of a holding pattern, right?
I think we should operate under the assumption that he's going to be out for season. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's the assumption that we should operate under. Me and Sam are disagreeing. I think he's done for the season. I think, but that shouldn't stop them for what they were going to pick. And I think they had James Wiseman at the top of the board, and they ended up picking him. I don't think it stopped them from doing anything else.
No, and I don't know that they can change anything at this point. Like let's be real here. What if you're Bob Myers and at 4 p.m. you get a text that Clay is seriously injured and the draft's in an hour? What do you do? Are you really going to like reinvent the wheel at that moment? I feel like you almost have to be safer at that moment. You have to just be like, we have to stick to our process and adapt afterwards.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect fit, man. I think it's a perfect fit. I think Steph is going to be a great player for another 3, 4, 5 years. He's at least a rim protecting big right now. Not saying that he's going to be able to guard Anthony Davis, but at a certain level of being an adequate big, he is already much better than Marquise Chris. He's already better than Kevon Looney in terms of just, let's just say, for example, staying healthy.
Yes.
I think the guy's playing 25 minutes a game. Oh, no.
In this moment, health is the only thing I'm concerned about.
Oh, no.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, I feel you.
I guess it's time for us to bring it all out. Oh, is my filter blocking it?
No, I see it. I see it. Oh, look, Ben's got a little claw or truly there.
What are we all working with here, boys? Let's be honest.
Little McAllen 12 for me. McAllen 12 for me.
Bonte?
I got this Rick House from the Gold Bar. It's pretty damn good. I don't really drink anymore. So this is going to hit me hard tonight. I already had like half the class. I mean, there's a draft happening, right? I think there's a draft happening right now. Sam, what you got going on, man?
We got a little Noble Oak, a little bourbon here. You know, kind of in the same class as the two of you. We can pull up Bevmo and figure out who's the bougiest at price point, but I don't think it really matters right now.
No, it doesn't. It does. Damn, man, it was supposed to be a good day. It's supposed to be a good day, man. And
I know, man. I'm trying to get excited about James Wiseman, and it's just hard when everything's in the balance with Clay. Like, of all people, he missed all of last year too. You know,
all people, Klay Thompson, man, who we saw in the gym shooting. Everybody's like, this guy can't wait to get back, and he works hard. He misses a year, and the cold part is like, he gets hurt in a game in which he probably was playing at his all-time best. You think about that game in Game 6 against Toronto, and I got the feeling that, man, if this goes to a 7, who the hell knows who's going to win this championship? And a borderline dirty play by Danny Green. I get it going for the ball, but it was just like, bruh, like at that point, whatever. But like, he gets hurt, comes out for the free throws, then we don't see him since June of 2019. Since June of 2019, and we're all getting excited with the new schedule out. And I'm excited about Wiseman. Look, I'm excited about Wiseman, but does my expectations get tempered with this Klay Thompson injury? Absolutely. And now my head starts thinking like, well, Klay's out for the year. Worst case scenario. Next year, we're going into a season where Steph Curry is going to be on the last year of his deal. Like, I don't think anybody's thought about that yet. Like, he's going to be entering the last year of his deal. And I know that's early. That is early. That's floating in my head thinking, is this over? Is this run over?
You're not wrong, though.
Jesus, that's, oh my God.
I didn't mean to throw that out there, but that's where I start looking at the team, short term, long term. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but it's the truth. Like, Steph Curry's now got 2 years left. And what happens if this team just like, I don't even want to go there. I'm sorry, guys.
Someone in the chat is saying, Bonte, close your closet door. I feel the opposite, that the towels and the shirts are folded. I mean, that's an adult job right there.
James Wiseman has 4 people around him in his living room and he's crying. I mean, like come on. You can't you got to be happy for the guy. Like you got to be happy for the kid. Like this is look, man, I'm a simp. This is what I live for. I know we're sad. I know we're sad that Klay Thompson is out, but like this is the shit. Like this is amazing. Like if you think of it from James Wiseman's perspective, would you rather go to Minnesota or Charlotte fucking Hornets or the guy or with Steph Curry, even without Klay? Like you get to play with Steph Curry for your entire rookie contract. Like this is as good as it gets if you're James Wiseman. This is the perfect fit. Like he's gonna get at least 8-10 points just dunking the damn ball.
Right. I thought about this, Sam and Andy, from like February. I was just like, all right, Anthony Edwards, there's something to a player going to college, playing out a season, and not even like being close to making a tournament. And there was and like Anthony Edwards may be great, right? May be great, but there was too many times where I just saw him wandering, and it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. I was just like, man, like, does he like? You either want to play or you don't want to play. The love of the game, as you guys always say, right? And at times it didn't look like he really didn't play for the love of the game. This guy Wiseman got something taken away from him in college, still did his thing in the classroom. Seemed like he just worked out, and you read all the stories, workouts 3 times a day. And you see the tears right here, kind of in a weird way, reminds me of Vernon Davis when he's taking 6 overall by the Nuggets, right? He's crying, and I'm crying with him like, you know what? He wants to be here. Now, those tears could mean a lot of things, right? 1, you're a millionaire. You never got to worry about anything for the rest of your life. But 2, he goes to an ideal situation. That's what I just kept saying. It's like, all right, not to even go back, but like James Worthy going to the Lakers. Perfect situation for a rookie to go play with Magic and Kareem. Right? I mean, you think about Tim Duncan. Oh, I get drafted to the Spurs. I get to play with David Robinson. I get to learn from one of the best centers in the last 15 years. This Kawhi Leonard going to the Spurs, getting drafted. Oh, I get to go play with Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, a team that's already won championships. Oh, I get to just ease my way into the system. And now James Wiseman, even without Klay Thompson, getting to play with Steph Curry, learning defensively from Draymond Green and Rod Adams. It's a perfect situation for a young man to go into this situation knowing that I don't have to ban right away. I don't have to be a franchise savior like somebody's going to have to be for the Charlotte Hornets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, or the Chicago Bulls or the Pistons. Like, I got to save this franchise. I'm 20 years old, bro. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to play the game yet.
By the way, for the comment section, that's Malika Andrews on ESPN. The comments are blowing up. That's Sam. You had a thought there.
As I look, I'm just so you know, a tweet came across my timeline of someone saying Malika Andrews ... and it's that picture of just Mark Jackson, like the 40 different angles of his story.
This is why even in the darkest moments, I think for Warriors fan right now, it is a dark moment. There's a little bit of humor. I really
gotta smile a little bit.
Yeah, I really like the James Wiseman pick. I think it's a great pick.
By the way, I wanted to point this out. Bonte mentions Vernon Davis. They actually both had the same red flag, which is they have interests outside of their sport. Like everyone who criticized Wiseman would say he has interests off the court. Like he's fluent in Mandarin and like likes to do random things that are not atypical for an athlete. And like that just reminds me, isn't that what everyone said about Vernon Davis? He still turned into a hell of a player for a while.
Hell of a player. Kind of can't catch though, but he figured it out. He figured it out,
right?
Yeah, he's a chess catcher, not a hands guy, but he figured it out.
But you know what? He made it happen. He made it work.
He is good. It reminds me of what people said about Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, that's a great
athlete.
one.
Right, uber athlete. They complained that he had some stuff off the court, which like crazy. Now you look at
too interested in academics. Like,
it turns out he's like a smart fucking guy, right? Like he's
it's like which is it? He's not interested or he's too interested? Like what's the perfect balance here? You're looking for like a B- student, guys?
Yeah, let me give you a C+ student. A guy who's just on that C's get degree hype, right? Look, this dude Wiseman knows Mandarin. The dude's learning Mandarin. He's going to kill it out here in the Bay Area. He knows Mandarin? Like, what?
He's gonna.
My girlfriend's Russian. I know like 5 words. We've been dating for over 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know 5 words. This dude knows Mandarin. He's 19, 20 years old. Yeah. I mean, like, and it's cool to have other interests. I mean, think about Curry and Draymond and all the interests. I know people come down Draymond's road, but they have a lot of interest, man, outside the basketball court. There's nothing wrong with that. Andre Iguodala, one of our favorite Warriors ever, was always in Silicon Valley trying to bubble off the tech boom. So, there's nothing wrong with that.
Couple different news that are coming out right now, guys. Patrick Williams looks like he's going to at 4 to the Chicago Bulls, so he really shot up the draft board here in the last couple weeks. Wow.
And Cleveland is trying to trade the 5th pick. So
wow,
those are on. I like Patrick Williams, but we've reached the it feels like the Major League Baseball draft where people are just like, oh, look at the tools. Can't actually prove he can produce, but like bat speed, that type of stuff.
Right. 7'7" wingspan.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
My Lord. He's so good. His 3-cone drill. Like his
exactly.
Hey. Trent Taylor has an elite 3-cone drill. Come on.
You mean Wes Welker?
I think the coach Wes Welker could probably get open more than Trent Taylor right now.
Dude, Trent Taylor, they've been throwing this at me for 2 years, Niner fans. Trent Taylor, man, he's having a hell of a camp. He's the slot guy that we've been messing up. Like, dude, he almost died his rookie year on Thursday Night Football against the Rams. Remember that? He was on the ground. He was so frail. I was like, man, this guy, does he have enough nutrients in his body? What's going on with Trent Taylor? And look, man, the guy tries hard, but Richie James Jr. had one game better than Dante Pettis' and Trent Taylor's career. Like, I don't even want to talk about the Niners right now. It's all about the Warriors, James Wiseman. I got the comments up, too. China James, are they going with the China James reference?
China James and China Clay.
I'm ready for that. I'm not ready for that.
Let's just see him finish a few lobs first. That's the big thing. I will say, we don't know what's up with Clay, but no one is happier right now than Steph Curry and Draymond Green. They officially have one of the best lob threats in the NBA. Like once he figures it out, and Steph loves that. Like, it kind of burns him that he can't get those easy assists that other guys get with their center just being able to catch it above the rim and dunk it. Yeah, like that Zaza, great guy, not providing the lob threat.
Not quite, huh?
I put this situation up earlier this morning because we've been talking about Bonte. We've been really talking about James Wiseman the last couple of weeks, and we were pretty much saying like 60-70% that this was going to be Wiseman. Can you imagine Steph Draymond pick and roll? Draymond short roll, gets the ball free throw line, takes a dribble, lobs that thing up, and instead of Kevon Looney who can barely get to the rim, you got James Wiseman who can probably do a windmill off an alley-oop. Like, that is a beautiful image.
It's a no-brainer pick to me because the West is bigger, right? The league is getting bigger. Not saying that traditional centers are back, like the back to the basket, dribble, let me jump hook. I'm not saying that's happening, but you saw there's a lot of length in the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. Guys are getting bigger. And you need, like, Draymond thrives with the rim protector, right? He gets to roam weak side, gets to roam freely like a free safety, like he's Ed Reed in the half-court system. So, like, Wiseman, like, you just hear all good things about him. Like, sure, he hasn't played a lot of college games, but college games kind of hamper these young players. Like, I watched Baylor last year, who was, like, the number 1 team, and I wanted to yak. I'm like, who the hell wants to play in this system? Everything's half-court. Everything's slow. Everybody's running the zone. They're not going to thrive. This is open court now in the NBA, space and pace. And look, this guy, you heard all the comparisons of Bosch and Robinson, and he's watching tape on Hakeem. Look, at worst, he's going to give you, I think, 20 to 25 minutes a game. And if he gives you like 9, 10 to 10, well, guess what? Marquise Chris on the other side. I look at the center position as just Marquise Chris, James Wiseman, and if it is Looney, right? And you get 48 minutes out of those guys.
Well, let's talk about Let's talk about bigs right now. Hold up, Monte Poole, friend of the program, friend of the show, Monte Poole. Adding Wiseman will not prevent the Warriors from seeking another big. Already have their eyes on at least 4 per sources.
I'm not mad at that.
Marcus Gasol.
That tells me Marcus Gasol. But what does that also tell me? Yep. Like, it also tells me like a little bit of, do they think that, like, there's only a couple of reasons why you're getting a vet big. Like, do they think that they might feel like Clay might play? Do they think that he's not done for this? Because,
I think you have to operate that he's I think you have to operate that he's not done for the year until you get official word that he's done for the year. So, I mean, why wouldn't the Warriors be putting stuff out there like, we're going to pursue this player? Like, if you get the worst case news, well, then you pivot to in a different direction. But until then, you have to operate as if everything's okay.
Also, does it mean that Looney, they may be moving on from? He's had injuries.
Yeah.
I love Looney, but maybe try to get a trade and maybe get you a cheap wing, somebody who could defend on a wing and give you some bench depth. Because like Marc Gasol, I'm thinking about Marc Gasol. This is something I brought up on the show today with Shasky and Kate on 95.7 again, was that you bring in Marc Gasol, now you have another teacher for Wiseman. A former defensive player of the year who knew how to play the center position. And look, Marc Gasol's not going to play every game. He's not going to play heavy minutes, but the guy can hit an open three now. You know what I'm saying? He's
one of the best passing bigs of the last decade.
There you go.
You know, Steve Kerr's he'll pick up the system easy. So, I mean, I'm with you there. That the biggest thing I'm thinking of is, you got Wiseman, you bring in a vet. I mean, how many other bigs you need? One of Looney or Marquise Chris has to go. And you can go either direction with it, in my opinion.
But Chris can just go.
But you don't leave his ass. I mean, actually, it'd be very Warriors to just somehow find a way to run it back with 5-6 centers for no apparent reason.
Dude, how would you guys feel like? Because when Clay got hurt and news broke about Klay Thompson, I started seeing a lot of people tweet about LaMelo Ball, and he had a little IG post up, and I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't bring LaMelo to the Bay. I think LaMelo could be a good player. I do. But for this team, like, no. Imagine LaMelo Ball playing under Steve Kerr. How many clipboards would Steve Kerr break?
I also disagree with the fact that he's going to be this type of like super talent that you can't pass on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't agree with that at all. There's nothing with the way that he plays that tells me like, oh, you can't pass up on this guy. You need to not get it. It don't make no sense. It doesn't. He can't shoot. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, that's the bigger thing. If I thought he was like the undisputed best player in the class, I would say take him, because talent's talent. And your worst
he's the best player in the draft. There's people tweeting that he's the best player in the draft. Like, what?
How do you not? Like, there's no way.
But I don't. But my point was, I don't think he is. Like, I mean, I honestly like Patrick Williams, and the Cavaliers have selected Isaac Okoro. I think there's something to be said for him not playing organized ball. Like, I mean, Warrior fans love to dog James Harden for not doing the winning things. What do you think a kid who literally has his dad pull him out of every game or off every team when it doesn't go his way will do? Like, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a defender. I don't think he's going to be that guy who does all the winning things you want. Maybe he will. Maybe I'm wrong, but at minimum, I don't think he's far and away. Like we're not talking about like Zion or something here, right?
Right. No, I mean, it would be a disaster. Let's just be honest, man. Like the kid, I like the kid, man. I think he's going to be a little bit better than Zoe, but at least Zoe, as much as Zoe gets ripped, Zoe plays a little defense. You know what I'm saying? He'll try to guard the ball and take the ball.
I like Zoe.
He's not aggressive. Like Lonzo, you could do a lot worse, but LaMelo, defensively, like you said, man, it's just like he would just chuck it. You imagine him play like, no, I don't even like. I was starting to get those vibes. And I said, you know what, girl, let's go. I told my girl, I said, let's go take a walk around the neighborhood. Let's get some fresh air, because it's starting to get to me. Like I was like, if LaMelo Ball gets drafted by the war. I know Bob Myers and company probably didn't even look at LaMelo. They probably had him crossed off the list. Like, no way. There's no way in hell that we're taking LaMelo Ball.
Isaac Okoro at 5, by the way, and then
Onyeka and Congo at 6. Wow. No trades. I'm a little surprised there's no trades.
Not yet. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we thought there was going to be some movement in the top 5, top 6 there.
Okay, you're
I'm a little surprised.
Bonte, you're Bob Myers. You just selected James Wiseman. You got a great full head of hair. Life's good. Other than the fact that you don't know if Clay will play. Does the Clay injury change your calculus in terms of what kind of offers you're willing to field for Wiseman?
I think you definitely have to think about it. You really, like a lot of people said a lot of people who are saying trade the number 2 pick to think about the future and think about life after Steph and whatnot. I mean, you really got to think about it now, because if you're without Clay, again, that scenario where Steph Curry goes in the next season with only 1 year left on his deal, right? He's going to the next season, which could potentially, I don't even want to put this out there in the stratosphere, but he can go into next year as like 1 year, $45 million. And it's like, are you going to resign Steph Curry?
Yeah,
Now,
we already pretended we didn't hear it the first time.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to kick this motherfucker off right now. Yeah.
Hey, you asked me if I'm Bob Myers. I got to think about this shit. I got to think about Wiggins and Draymond. Like, if you're Bob Myers, you just like pray that the MRI comes out negative and that Clay's out for like 4 to 6 weeks. That's best case scenario. You can't even like, you just got to put everything at a standstill right now. But also, I still think you got to be, no matter what, if Clay was playing or not, or say if he wasn't hurt, you got to be aggressive with that trade exception. $17.2 million. You got to say, you know what? I got to use this boy. I got to use it to like add depth to this basketball team. So in that sense, I'm still aggressive in that department, and I'm still aggressive at getting the mid-level. Now, in terms of like trading some of the big names, I may stand pat at the moment. I may wait for like the All-Star break or something if I want to start to investigate that avenue in terms of trading some of the other core players outside of Steph Curry. So right now I'm Bob Myers. I'm still doing the same thing. $17.2 million exception. I'm going to use it. I'm going to look to explore the mid-level, and then let's see what happens to Klay Thompson.
I agree. Killian Hayes looks like he's going to 7 to Detroit. Looks like that's a little high. But Bonte, we're gonna get you out here with one last one, man. You got some final thoughts? You got anything you want to talk about? Jimmy G's not going to be back. He's trash. You know, anything. Steph just looks like he just posted about Klay Thompson. Looks like he just posted some encouraging words. But your final thoughts on all of this stuff?
I mean, Jimmy G, yeah, he's probably done. I need one of these young stud quarterbacks. I mean, the last couple of weekends, I've been on the couch, bro. And these quarterbacks, even the young man at Clemson, DJ, Zach Wilson at BYU, and I know everybody's making a big deal out of Adam Peters being at his game. That's his freaking job. Go to the fucking game and scout these guys, right?
Yeah,
That's
if Bob Myers wasn't scouting like LaMelo Ball, you know what I'm saying? Like, he better be doing it. By the way, you have a Giants jacket on? Oh, God, it's just bad. It's bad for Bay Area.
I got Warrior shirts. I got Giants. I got Warrior shirts. Look at that. Right. I got the Warrior shirts.
That's not a Giants. That's not a Giants jacket.
That's a little Giants, a little SF.
Yes, it is.
A little pullover.
It's not.
Nice little dry fit. You know what I'm saying?
I might have color issues. That doesn't look like orange.
Yeah,
maybe it looks like red and yellow. That looks like St. Ignatius colors.
Oh, he just called you an SI, bro. Hey, chill out. Hey, chill out.
You just called me a cherry. Pause there, Sam.
Yeah, come on.
I got love for SI, but I'm no cherry over here.
I apologize,
the orange is a little faded. Orange is a little faded, but it's still there.
There's like
it's still got the outline.
10% of the audience gets like how offensive that joke is, but it hits.
No doubt. Hey, Niners, give me a fucking quarterback, right? Give me a quarterback who's going to throw the ball 40 yards, 50 yards down the field. Not CJ Beathard, who's going to underthrow somebody by 15 yards. What in the hell was that? I mean, it was so laughable. Give me a damn quarterback, Kyle Shanahan. I love Jimmy G. I do. But obviously, Shanahan don't trust him to get somebody you trust, because I'm tired of hearing the excuses. It's year 4 now. We're about to have our 3rd losing season under Shanahan. By the way, James Wiseman. The Warriors didn't overthink it. They got it right. Be excited, Warrior fans. James Wiseman is the pick. And guess what? If Minnesota finishes in the draft next year out of the top 3, they're going to get another stud next year to go alongside James Wiseman.
Can we talk about that real? Can we talk about that real quick? We got the D'Lo experience at the Chase Center. We've heard the Karl Anthony Towns stories via Jimmy Butler, who's everyone's favorite not on their team player. And then,
no doubt.
You know, the Anthony Edwards stuff, I think he's going to be a good player. I do not feel confident he'll be a winning player in his rookie year, as most rookies aren't, right?
Right.
How confident are we feeling this pick is going to land in the top 10? Oh, we should throw in OKC is obviously going to move the opposite way, and a couple teams are going to tank. But
right, I feel good that the Warriors are going to get that pick, because Minnesota's just a dumb franchise. They're going to try to make like a playoff push, and then they're going to go on like a 9-game losing streak, and it's like, oh shit, we're screwed. This pick is not going to land in the top 3, and you know the NBA is not going to rig anything for the Minnesota freaking Timberwolves. That's not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you got Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Adam Silver's going to tell Minnesota, what more do you want? So that pick, there's no doubt in my mind that pick is going to fall in the top 6, top 7.
I agree.
And the Warriors are going to be sitting pretty in a deep draft. And so you add another young asset to Steph and Draymond and hopefully Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins. I think the Warriors are in a good spot, man. I really do.
Yep. I agree.
We got to keep the positivity up and cross our fingers for Klay Thompson, because that's all we can do right now.
Drink up.
Cheers.
Drink up to everybody out there
cheers,
on YouTube.
Vontae. You're
I love
always
all
welcome.
y'all. Sam, Andy, I love you guys. Red cups, glass. What's up, Ben? What's up, baby? Cups up. We got Wiseman. 2 second-round picks. Let's see if Bob Myers makes some more moves tonight, man. But I'm feeling good. Enjoy James Wiseman. It's been real, boys.
Vontae, appreciate you, man. You're the man. Thank
Love
you.
y'all.
Oh, man, that was great. Bonte's the best.
But I needed Bonte because I needed that energy boost. We're obviously like all the premium members saw me look, distraught when the Klay news, and like the whole time I was like, I promise you guys, I had so much stuff I wanted to talk about, and I got that Klay text, and all I'm hearing in my head is just Marvin's Room. I just want to cry.
Oh,
it's bad.
I do love Marvin's Room. That is one of my favorite songs of all time.
And it's like, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's just like, I can't even think. It's just a mess. I just feel awful. But Bonte got me back in the spirit, positivity. Yeah. We might as well move forward with this. Let's do it.
We got Andrew Sharp in a couple minutes. I'm going to take a quick break. Sam, go ahead. Run this thing. I'll be back in 2.
Okay. Benji, jump on here. Let's get some thoughts on this right now. All right. When's the Giannis trade in the mentions here? I think Giannis is going to play it out another year or so before we start talking about him getting traded. But I still, whether he signs the extension or not, I just feel like he's going to leave that team. That's just kind of the way it goes in the NBA these days. Ben, what is up?
Oh, it was I'm with you, man. Bonte was a much needed injection of life, I think, for the three of us. So shouts to him. He always brings it.
And you're right, Cortez Portillo. The Marvin's Room is the official pain anthem. It's like when you've had a bad day, that's what you listen to as you just stare in the mirror and cry.
Yeah, elite reference by you. We've our next guest is imminent here, so give me 2 seconds. Let's get him on.
Oh, Andy beat me with the bathroom run. I'm taking the run after this break then. Mr. Sharp, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yo, what's up, man?
Hold on 1 second. My audio isn't working.
That's cool.
All right, there we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you feeling?
So we've been going since 4:30. The first 45 minutes was like suicide watch.
Okay.
Because of the Klay news. We don't know the severity of the injury formally yet. Nothing about anything Woj or Shams tweeted makes one think it's an ankle sprain, right?
It's pretty grim. The tone from Shams has been a little bit concerning.
Yeah, it's you don't get those tweets when someone rolls their ankle and they're out 10 to 14 days.
Yeah, so. You probably don't even mention it. I mean, I personally am really struggling. I was counting on the Warriors to make me love basketball again this year, and now it's just like, well, I guess all I can do is ironically root for the Nets because Klay and Steph are. Right. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun here, but it's.
And I don't either. So the only reason our moods have been picked up is our guest before you is friend of the show, Bonte Hill, and he got us just in a good mood in terms of try to ignore it until you know what's going on and just try to think positivity till then. So right now we're living in this alternate universe where Klay's healthy. So that's where I'm at right now. It might also be the cocktail.
I was going to say, I mean, I hope that you guys are pretty drunk right now because that's where you need to be.
Just casually enjoying ourselves. But with that said, let's start here. So your Wizards are coming up. I don't know if everyone knows
Maybe you could get Russ.
You're a DC native, so that's always going to be the team that's you got a little affinity for, which just sounds painful. But hey, we're all Warriors fans here.
Well, look,
free Joe Lacob is the same thing.
Coming down to our level like pretty quickly here in terms of just general darkness. Would you guys, let me ask you, at this point, if the Wizards offered Bradley Beal for Clay, Wiseman, and the Wolves pick next year, would you do it?
No.
Get out of here.
I mean, look. I'm just saying.
Look at this vulture showing up at a funeral, trying to be like, I got a tombstone to sell you for cheaper. Like,
there's no shame whatsoever. I just had to ask. Okay, the thought
I respect it.
crossed my mind, and I was like, that could make sense. Lacob gets desperate, doesn't want to wait another 14 months for Clay. Maybe we make a deal.
Yeah, I do think if the Clay injury is as serious as we're dreading, the type that rules him out for a second straight year, the type where you have to seriously reconsider who he is as a player going forward.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of on the table. Like, you're no longer thinking about building around the core three. You have to start considering building around Steph, period. And like, whatever happens, or like going in a different direction, I guess. But like, until we get note of that, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, because there's nothing worse than being the guy who screams he tore his ACL, and then you get the notification that actually it's a calf strain and he's out for a month.
Right. Well, and I mean, I've spent 9 months. I can't imagine where you guys have been, because it was literally all building to this night as like the beginning of the new era. And then it's like, honest to God, it's the craziest thing. Like 15 minutes before the draft starts, everybody starts talking about Clay. Like, I don't know, man. That's tough.
By the way, Wiseman, already a forever Warrior, already strength in numbers all-star, saying on Klay Thompson, it was down for me emotionally, but the team, we got his back no matter what. Thank you, James Wiseman. You've been a Warrior for 30 minutes.
Fit right in.
Yes.
Actually, by the way, number one on my draft board was Denny Avdia, Andrew, and Denny is going to Washington.
Wow.
Damn it. I think Sharp's with me on Denny.
Fuck, really? That's who they took? I said this.
Wow.
I mean, it's fine. He'll be fine. I said this on my podcast last weekend. My read on Denny is that like he has the rough outlines of a prototype that like NBA guys really, really like. And if he were actually good, he would have like risen to the top of this draft class. But he hasn't, which tells me
big time Jan Vesely vibes.
Exactly.
Come on. No.
I think he's
Denny knows how to play basketball. Come on.
He's slow and he can't really shoot, so that concerns me.
Andy saw a curated YouTube reel and was just all in. He saw a couple bounce passes through traffic and was like, "This is my guy. He's like Luka meets Kawhi. I love him." No,
I'm really glad that I'm on here with you guys and not watching the draft and following this by myself.
Look, you can't be as depressed as when we saw the Clay news. I swear to you, for the new listeners, by the way, thank you for all the listeners for joining. We have a little bit over 600 right now. They missed out on the premium side where we were 30 minutes before the podcast, and I think Sam was about to cry. So I don't think that, Sharp, that you're going to get there tonight because we've already been there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't cry, just to be honest. I get like very like despondent and like checked out and like uncomfortable for other people, but tears don't flow. It's more of I honestly, it'd probably be better. Like Bob Myers crying actually makes people feel better. Me, I just make people uncomfortable when I'm uncomfortable.
Right. So. Well, and for me, I mean, the Clay news, if he's actually out this season, is going to be like profoundly disappointing because watching the Warriors at least pre-Durant, and then like certainly what I was expecting to watch this year is like the purest basketball fandom I have apart from the Wizards. And so when I saw that news, I was really depressed for about 30 minutes. But now that I see that the Wizards drafted Denny Advia, I'm going to have to work on my pronunciation over the next couple of years. I am depressed, but not nearly as depressed as you guys are. So thank you for making me feel better about the Wizards. I liked like 7 guys at 9, and I knew that they were going to take either Obi Toppin or Denny. So
we're gonna say one Denny thing. So we had Kevin O'Connor on the pod last week, and he was talking about how Denny said his poor shooting percentage was a mental thing and not about like any mechanical issue.
Great.
And in all I heard in my mind was do not touch him, because literally could not be a worse answer possible. Like I want the guy who has ridiculous confidence and maybe too much confidence. You'd rather rein in the guy who's maybe a B player but thinks he's an A player than the guy who's a B player but has the confidence of a D player.
Yeah, or the guy who just can't shoot, who's slow but also can't shoot. Like, I don't want anything to do with that guy. I'm sorry.
You need smart players. By the way, James Wiseman on his new point guard. This is what we live for, Sharp. I have a great relationship with Steph. Obviously, I went to his camp while in high school. He taught me a lot about the game of basketball.
The ring.
Gave me a lot of information. That's my guy. I see this pairing as kind of like a Kobe Shaq kind of thing, like where, you know, that iconic moment where you saw Kobe throws the oop to Shaq for the three-peat, you know, during that run. Like I see this as being a very
it's already over for the Lakers.
Yeah,
like, it's gonna end the same way. Steph's gonna throw a lob.
Yep.
And Wiseman's gonna dump all over Anthony Davis, and everyone's going to be shocked, and Anthony Davis is going to stare at his hand, and it's going to be
they'll whine about Wiseman being too much help, you know, that type of stuff. Sharp, I do want to get, because you are a draft person. Following your coverage, you always do have features and takes on draft guys. What is your profile on James Wiseman? What has been kind of your prevailing notion on him?
I'm not super high on him. I thought the Warriors should take him if they were going to keep the pick, because I think he's the guy most likely to retain value for the next like 6 to 12 months. And I thought that they're going to want to move this pick at some point along the way. If Wiseman is being drafted as like a part of the future, I don't know if I'm like that excited about it, but I don't know if anybody at 2 would have had the type of value you normally expect out of a second pick. I mean, like LaMelo, where were you guys at with him? Because I was texting Sam earlier being like, this could get really, really dark if they get desperate and just take LaMelo.
There was a Sam made this note. There was a, hey, if you think that Klay Thompson's going to be out for a season, you could go down that path and say, hey, you are rebuilding a little more than you thought, and maybe you take the guy with the best talent.
Right. I think at this point, though,
Sam.
I'm not sure why you need LaMelo when you got the big 3 behind me.
I love the graphics on this draft show. You guys are really not pulling any punches here. Steph is at the point where they need to make some moves to like they can't just sort of like kick the can down the road for another year. So if Klay is out, I hope that they look at this and say, all right, let's see what we could do with the Wolves pick and like compete now. Because and even if there aren't like great options out there, for Steph, like I feel like he's only got another 3 or 4 years of like elite play in him, if that. So like, let's go make some noise somehow.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So trade for Bradley Beal is what I'm saying here. I'm here pitching you guys. Just get desperate, get proactive.
We did talk ourselves into last season.
I mean, I do love Bradley Beal. Like, there's no way around that. I just have a hard time going there. Whatever. Let's not go there until we know what's going on with Klay. That's where I'm at right now. That's just kind of where I'm at. We got the 3 Wiseman behind me, and we got James Wiseman. So Now I am officially a 50-year-old studio host with the corny jokes.
My team drafted Rui last year, who can't fucking play defense and never will play defense. And now
do you
we've
really
got
not think he has
Denny.
defensive? I feel like he had defensive upside.
Hachimura's half Japanese. Yeah, he's half Asian. So I think there's a little. He's
all right.
He'll be fine.
He's into your what is it? It's not K-pop. What is it? What are the shows that you're always tweeting about?
K-dramas, you see? K-dramas, see?
Yeah.
Sean gets it. Yeah.
Rui's up on that. Yeah. Well, he's got that going for him. He's never going to actually guard, but Sam, I hope you're right that he does fill out on that end.
Yeah. Let's end it with you on this because we got to get back to Warriors stuff, and we're going to have Anthony Slater coming on in 5 to 10 minutes. So Russell Westbrook to the Wizards.
I mean,
where are you at with this?
So
I know you love Russ. I know in your heart of hearts, he's like your number 2 behind Steph.
Not a Russ guy. Not a Russ guy. And yet,
do you just hate James Harden that much that you picked that you were? Because I remember the years of Russ should have been the MVP over Harden.
Oh, well, yes. I have never trusted James Harden's Beardy Madoff accomplishments in the regular season.
Yeah.
And so I had to vote for Russ strictly to side-eye Harden. Here's the thing. John Wall, the odds of John Wall becoming even like 80% of what he was in 2017 when he was an all-NBA guard are pretty slim if like we're going to take an honest look at where he is. And he's had some leadership issues. His health is like totally up in the air. So
what's that spot in DC that he like owned his greenhouse or?
I don't know. That's how uncool and out of touch I am. I don't actually know like the hot clubs anymore. I know that John Wall is there frequently.
It's just never a good sign if Stephen A. Smith is calling you out on First Take on national TV that you are at bottle service at this hot club too often.
Constantly. And I remember when Stephen A. called him out, I thought to myself, I think I was like 31 years old at that point. I was like, I am too young to not know where that is, but I'm also impressed that Stephen A. is like 50 years old and knows exactly where that is. So Stephen A.'s got his ear to
I'm not surprised that
on a Stephen A. note, no one is more upset about Clay's injury than Stephen A. because I'm 100% positive Stephen A. hits up bottle service with Klay Thompson when he's in the Bay.
Hell yeah.
Well, and Stephen A. was really like preaching the gospel. He was like a light years correspondent the last couple of months, reminding people that the Warriors exist.
Yeah. I mean, Clutch got Kendrick Perkins. We got Stephen A. It's not even a fair fight.
Yeah, it was awesome. Anyways, all right. So long story short, I will take Russ on the Wizards because I think that the outlook with Wall is pretty bleak. So switching it up just for the hell of it, if they're not going to actually rebuild, I wouldn't mind it, which feels insane to say, but it's sort of where the Wizards are with John Wall at this point.
I actually have to ask you one other question to back that up. How much did you laugh when Russ basically said it's unfun to play with James Harden? That's why I want to go to a team where I get to do that again.
It's such an impressive lack of self-awareness from Russ to be like, look, I think the entire league realizes that I would be better on my own team. It's like, I don't know. Trade market is not bearing that out so far.
But he's still more likable than Harden, which is just a fact.
That is actually a great point. No matter what happens to the Warriors this year, you guys can always take solace in the spectacular downfall of James Harden and Russ and Tillman and the Houston Rockets.
Okay, can we talk about this? Laker fans trying to pretend they beat the Rockets is just the next level. Like you watch Succession. I know you do. They are the Connor Roy of basketball fans, where they're just like, I'm just so successful. And it's like, you're very unaware of where your success came from.
It's true, actually. If we're trying to like pinpoint what actually broke the Rockets, it was the Steph comeback that was game 6, right?
Yes.
Okay. It was that performance leading to Chris Paul flipping out on Harden and Harden saying there needs to be changes in the post-game press conference. Then Tillman showing up after all the players left and being like, I need to teach these guys how to win. They should have stepped on the Warriors' necks during this series, all of which was just fucking great. And then everything fractured from there because they brought in Russ, which was like destined to be a failure the second they did it.
Absolutely.
So I'll give you guys credit on this night of mourning.
It's a weird night, but I
memories.
needed to feel the positive vibes, which was just shitting on the Rockets.
Yeah,
one last time, because in like 5 years when we do that whole like remember how funny it was when the Rockets lost the Warriors, we'll officially be those way too old guys talking about the old days.
Yeah. Well, and you got to break the Denny news to me, so congratulations.
Sharp.
I just want you to know your screen froze on me as you were grabbing your face, falling back during the Denny news. Well, it was the funniest thing I've seen.
That's perfect. That's where I am emotionally with all this.
Oh man! All right, Andrew Sharp, we appreciate your time, man. Enjoy Denny Avdia. Enjoy Rui Hachimura. He does love Terrace House. That is a Japanese show. Good luck.
There we go. Yes.
Good luck.
Good. Prayers up for Clay. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Sam, you gonna head out for a second? Okay. We've got Anthony Slater that's coming on. We should tweet that we had Sheet on earlier on Premium. We partnered with Warriors World to give out 5 gift baskets, merch, Ben?
Boxes, I think is the proper term.
Gift boxes. I think shirts are in there.
Yeah.
Wristbands. I don't know. All types of Warriors World stuff. All the listeners know what's involved in that. So we're giving away 5. I think what I'm gonna do is let's take some questions once Slater is off. And then the best questions are gonna get the 5 gift boxes. And then if we have some time, I do want to get some people on the show with us just to get their thoughts. We've got a fair amount of people that are watching. I don't want gifts. I want Clay back. Look, if I could, I would. I don't even need my Achilles. I would give Clay my Achilles. I don't care. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do here in the next, I don't know, hour or so. That's kind of the plan. I think people are sad. People are sad. They're like, hey, Clay's out, this and that. At the same time, I'm also thinking this is a pick that moving forward for the next 5, 6, 7 years, like this is the guy that you want. Like this is the guy that's gonna make the Warriors a lot better. Like I don't think Steph Curry is a guy that's gonna be done in 2 years. Wiseman has a chance to start from the jump. I think you draft him with the 2nd pick. I think Wiseman's probably gonna be the starting center to start the season. Like I know Monte Poole tweeted that the Warriors are still looking at bigs, but I think they're probably going to look at it from a vet min perspective. I don't think that this is going to be, they're looking at the mid-level exception or the traded player exception. I don't think they're using that on a big, or at least I'd hope not. I think they're going to start looking at wings and maybe some backup guards at that number. So, hope not, but maybe someone that can kind of do what Jalen Smith. Who the hell is Jalen Smith? The Suns are
Jalen's good,
Jalen
man. Jalen's interesting, but yeah, we've reached that point in the draft where all mocks can go out the window. Jalen was I'm into him as a center prospect, but it's let's just say we've reached the point of the mocks where none of them make sense.
Yeah. All right, so we've got Slater coming on in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm sending him the link, so let's keep it moving.
Poole is going to start at shooting guard. I doubt that. I think the Warriors are probably going to bring in a veteran guy to start at shooting guard.
I mean, they'd also just start Damian Lee over Poole, so that's the other part of it.
Not enough whiskey.
I couldn't tell how much I upset you with that comment.
Oh God. By the way, Sam sources, Jordan Poole has looked great in the offseason. So
yeah, well, we all We all tell people things.
Tyrese Halliburton and Devin Vassell still on the board, Sam. Certainly, I think people that the Warriors were really liked and were interested in.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about Clay until we have something concrete. But we'll figure it out, I guess. So let's see. Moving this forward, James Wiseman, by the way, winning the press conference. Just winning the press conference for me. Just all his quotes, love Steph. And let's be honest here. Steph's happy. Steph wanted a big man. Yep. I think Steph loves the idea of playing with a rim runner and having
IU. Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
Oh God. IU, huh?
Sorry.
Oh, we got a special guest joining us right now.
Oh, special guest.
Oh, just
wow. And he's got OKC colored headphones on. He looks happy. He's got a beard going. He looks like he just celebrated the Lakers championship with KCP. Right. Yeah. No, he looks
Anthony Slater, can you confirm Clay's done for the year and one of the three guys in the background of my photo will be starting at shooting guard?
Wow. Number one, cannot confirm the Clay injury. There is a growing sense that it is going to be an extended absence. Nothing is, it's all unconfirmed at this point. But I don't think Jordan Poole will start at shooting guard.
Oh, you did hear that, huh? You did hear that.
Well, he said, I didn't hear it, but he said, I assume he wasn't talking Smiley Geecher Pascal. I was just looking in the back of his background.
Yeah. Sam's happy about those guys. I'm sure.
My guess, I think Damian Lee. I mean, I can't believe this is the conversation we're having tonight, but potentially Austin Rivers if we talk. I don't
Somebody says Slater looks like Baker Mayfield. Jesus,
I've got that before. I have.
You might even.
You went to OSU though, so is that like insulting, or have you moved beyond that?
Where did Baker go? OU.
Yes.
What's funny is typically I would say no. I don't care too much, but this is actually Bedlam weekend. OU and Oklahoma State are like the game day big game of the weekend. So yeah, I guess it is somewhat offensive.
What's the are you still watching? Like, is that like your number one, your only fandom at this point? Because like obviously you cover the NBA. You're not a fan.
Yeah. I've kept an NFL Miami Dolphins fandom because I've just separated myself.
Miami's
from
coming up.
I know they are. It's like
coming
the
up.
One time in the last 2 decades that's actually been a good thing to say. But yeah.
Nice. All right, let's get to the draft stuff here. Obviously, it's I don't think anyone was expecting to get the notification about a serious Clay injury right on the eve of the draft.
I was on the radio live.
Wow. Serious?
Yeah, on 95.7. And
God.
it was like, it turned into just like a war zone in there.
Right.
Can you imagine what it must have been like in the Warriors facility?
That's where I was going with it, because like it took us about 45 minutes to get to some semblance of normal, because like the first like 30 to 45 minutes we're just sitting there like, yeah, they're gonna pick, and anyway, it's like that kind of thing. And I'm just sitting here, it's like, do you have any sense of what they're even thinking and what they do with this pick and anything like that?
Yeah, I think that obviously like they had like the shock of the Clay news and the reality of what was ahead of them, which was probably not having their starting shooting guard for a while. I think the first thing you got to do is like, does this change tonight? Do they alter their strategy? I think they made the right move of saying, no, we're going to continue down the line that we all kind of knew that they were going, which was Wiseman. This could affect the next few days. What do they do free agency? What do they do with this traded player exception? I mean, we thought they needed wing and guard help, 5 hours ago. I mean,
right.
They really need it now. So to me, but I think the right move was to get whichever of the top 3 you thought was going to be the future star, because now the future matters almost a bit more than this season.
Right.
They went Wiseman.
So I'm a fan of that pick, by the way. I know you've been on the Wiseman train for
months,
and it feels like months now, and it feels like years. Actually, it feels like years.
But
you've been the one guy, I think, that's been very like, forget the trade down, forget the trade up, or well, not trade up, but forget the trade out. just get the guy, right? Get James Wiseman. I'm a fan of it. I think he's not only the perfect fit, but the guy that can replace Draymond Green or can just be a guy that may be like a star.
We're going to do a quick news break here. The Spurs are going to select Devin Vassell.
Of course.
Who at one point I feel like Warriors fans thought was going to go in the top 5.
Top 1.
But getting back to Andy's point here, you have been the most adamant James Wiseman person in terms of Warriors media. So tell me, let's bring this back. What exactly do you see there that you're happy the Warriors select, or you thought was the right decision for the Warriors to make?
So 69 college minutes. You turn on the tape. You turn on the tape. There you go. You turn on the tape, and immediately it's like, this is an athlete that does not exist anywhere on this draft board. 7'1" gazelle in the open court. I mean, some of the catch radius on the lobs. Yep. And then he had a cross court lefty pass in transition. And I was like, whoa, like, I don't think he has good vision or feel necessarily yet. But like, I also didn't see Damian Jones or like many centers make that kind of read. I was like, whoa, there's a lot there. Now there is potential warts, but my thing was like the people coming out strong saying like he doesn't have a high ceiling. It's like, it was only 69 minutes. How can you tell me that jumper might not eventually be there? It looks like it's good form.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it almost looks Chris Bosh. I understand the percentages are not there, but it's just like I could see that. So my thought was like, you're in a draft that's devoid of guaranteed stars. I think I've thought for a while that's definitely a starting caliber athlete at the center position with a higher ceiling than I think people give him credit for, because what if he does hit the jumper? What if he can get out? And so, I mean, it's not like he looks slow laterally. Like, what if Ron Adams gets him there and 2 years from now, he can guard a little bit out on the perimeter? He's going to block so many shots in this league. So it's like, to me, he was the surest thing at 2. And like, when you're a team like the Warriors, I don't think they wanted to go home run hitting with LaMelo Ball, where like, what's the idea? Like, what's the strikeout percentage on LaMelo Ball, would you say? 50-50? Maybe
I think it's higher. I think he's especially if you're drafting him to be like your guy, right? Like you're like, oh, like LaMelo's going to be the point guard of the future. Like, to me, he's a big Rubio.
And what's the strikeout potential on Wiseman? 1090? Like, it's
the fear with Wiseman is always that you slapped a single and the guy right behind you hit a home run. That's like always been the fear with Wiseman. Like, he turns into Andre Drummond, which is a more than competent, fine center, and the guy behind you turns into, I don't know, Jimmy Butler or something like that.
I agree, but it's not like Luka Doncic was there. It's not, who was the home run? If they walk out of tonight, maybe the home run is Patrick Williams, but were they going to take Patrick Williams at 2? Like, I think the main thing when I read the draft was what I mentioned on Wiseman, but like, this was just such a bad draft up top that I think it clarified to them, and I know that it clarified to them more in the last few months when they met him, but also when they watched the West playoffs. I mean, people act like the center is dead. The power forward is dead. The center is still matters in the league. Like, I'm not saying he's going to be Nikola Jokic. He'll never be the passer Nikola Jokic is, but like, centers still matter a lot more than like undersized, like 4'5" cover.
Well, and that's the thing too. It's like, it's not that the center is dead. It's that the slow-footed center is dead. Yeah. Like, all we've learned in the last few years is like, you need to find someone who's close to 7 feet who can move their feet. Not, you can't just go through like Zaza doesn't really exist in terms of being a closing center in the modern NBA.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing with Wiseman, like, the foot speed is there. Like, end to end, he's going to be one of the quickest centers in basketball. And that's what they loved about JaVale always, and why I remember, like, after practice 3, JaVale was a non-guaranteed camp invite. And after practice 3, I can remember talking to Steve Kerr, and he's like, this guy just beats every big we have, David West, Zaza, whoever. He just kills them in transition. And we just tell him, run. Steph Curry, Draymond Green will get you the ball, run. And that's why I think JaVale in 2 years had like 250 dunks in like limited minutes. Like, to me, that's at minimum what Wiseman will probably be in the next few
Minimum.
years. And then while he's doing that for you, behind the scenes, you're trying to turn him into an all-star. And I think there's a decent hit rate on that.
I think there's a shot at it. Like, I think he's someone that, like, at the very least, he's going to be able to play 20 minutes right now. And you look at fit and you're like, all right, he's a good fit, but he's also got incredible upside. I don't want to say Chris Bosh because I don't think he's that, because Chris Bosh was like polished and he's like a 25. He could have probably averaged 30 points a game, honestly, if he was on his own team. But man, like James Wiseman,
and he
like
did
that jump shot
in Toronto, just to be clear.
That last year before he went to LeBron, and LeBron took all the credit for whatever he did.
We're getting off tangent.
Yeah.
But what if Wiseman could just sit behind the line? Like, he's not going to be like, dribbling into threes, but he could just hit trail threes and transition one out of every three.
I think about we had Sam Vecini on the pod many times during the year because all we had to pod about was the draft. But he mentions, what if he is a bigger, more athletic Miles Turner, who's ironically who we talked about Warriors trading for. It's really hard to imagine this draft producing a player who's better than if Miles Turner was 2 inches taller and had better foot speed, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah. To me, a lot of it comes back to, like, there wasn't a Zion Williamson. There wasn't a John Morant. Like, what was there up top? What are they going to end up missing out on? If, let's say, LaMelo Ball turns into a superstar, I don't know that I'm going to be super critical of the Warriors about this pick.
No.
Right.
I think this was safe. It was safe, and safe can make sense, especially when you have Steph Curry we act like, with this whole like transition of power, you get the superstar for the next era. Steph Curry's still going to be the face of the Warriors for a half decade.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, it's just hard to get out of the Clay news right now, but
yeah, no, it's not good.
It's not good.
I'm curious how this affects what they do in free agency, but also
that's the next question.
Yeah, I was about to say. So let's say you get the worst case scenario. Like, I don't want to, you obviously don't want to speculate, and let's just assume Clay's out for the year.
Right.
What do you think the Warriors do? What do you think they do? Because now you're talking about Clay missing the whole year. You can't actually consider yourself a title contender when you're missing a max player like that. And going forward, you probably have to reconsider who Clay is if he's going to miss 2 years in a row, 2 season-ending injuries.
In the middle of his prime. Like you said, if we are presuming a season over, he's going to go without playing an NBA basketball game for like 30 months, probably.
Jesus, 3 years almost.
And you don't know what he's going to look like when he's back. And think about, we thought they had kid gloves on him, coming in through this injury. Imagine through the next one, how safely they're going to bring him back. To me, Bradley Beal becomes their obsession probably over the next however many months. And that's partly why you want to grow Wiseman as much as you can. But also free agency wise, I think you go for like an Austin Rivers type, somebody who you can promote, hey, come in, and you can kind of be this like placeholder starter. And you just go wing depth. To me, like, a little bit, it's on Lacob right now with the traded player exception, but sounds like the Thunder might want like a future first for Oubre. Could you throw them next year as your own first, not the Wolves first? And then suddenly, Steph, Oubre, Wiggins, Draymond, Wiseman, Rivers off the bench. Like, that's not going to beat the Lakers in a playoff series probably, but that wins a lot of games.
Because you can't go with just throwing away a prime season of Steph Curry. Like, I think if you're the Warriors, you can't just say, well, let's
How are you going to sell tickets? Oh, wait.
Well,
no one can go there. No. Anyway.
Well,
not if Joe has his
They're
way,
not going to
but-
throw this. They're not going to throw the season away.
I think that is the that's good to hear, but it's also like they've been trying to get rid of Wiggins' contract. And I think that's
they're not trying to get rid of Wiggins' contract. They will if Ben Simmons is on the table, but they like right now isn't the time to strike on the Wiggins value asset because it's negative. It's negative on the market. You take it out there, they go, oh, we have to take Wiggins. We'll give us an asset to take Wiggins. Where the closer he gets to his contract expiring, the less a team has to pay. And then also, what if he has a good season? You could turn him into a good asset. So to me, I'm not saying they wouldn't trade Wiggins. Of course they would if Washington was like, yeah, we think he could be.
We love him. He's the perfect fit for John Wall. Yeah.
But after 30 games of playing well on the Warriors, that's an easier sell.
All right, so let's get back to the main thing here. How confident were you that they were going to spend the TPE like in a substantial manner before the Clay news? And what do you think if we're assuming Clay's going to miss the vast majority of the year? Like, do you think it changes that calculus? Like, I guess I need to know where you're starting and then to know where you're going with it now.
Yeah, I'm kind of working through all this in my mind right now, right?
Sure.
Like we all are.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, part of me the argument could be, you got to use it now because you need a lot more rotation help. I mean, that's 35 minutes, high usage, good minutes, a shooter. They were relying on like the floor spacing. Suddenly you lose that. So you should use it. Then the other thought is you're going to pay this massive tax bill that we were already questioning if they should for a team that now what's their ceiling? We thought using it, your ceiling's a championship and makes up for it. But if their ceiling's 5 seed, second round, you paying $50 million for Rudy Gay. Like, I don't know.
Who's, by the way, going to be 35 by the playoffs next year. So.
Yeah. I still think, yes, they do. And I think a lot of it is because of the tax break they're getting in this new CBA. I think that promotes it. Maybe they throw Looney in the deal, particularly because you get Wiseman. I think they're going to probably still get another veteran on a vet minimum big. Maybe you throw Looney into the deal. You cut a lot of that tax out by shedding his contract, and you use it.
Nice. Moving forward from here, I guess. All right, so we've talked TPE. Obviously, everything's in the air because of Clay. It kind of throws everything off. I was like going to be very excited to talk about how you saw Wiseman's role going forward. Oh, here's a question we can go with. Woj tweets that the Warriors are still going to pursue other centers. Do you put any stock into any of that, or is that just kind of the Warriors letting, kicking the can down the road that there's still going to be players until they get some official news?
I think they'll still be players. I mean, again, they're like Andy said earlier, they're not just going to give up a Steph Draymond mid-prime year, especially with what
they already did that last year.
Yeah, exactly. And they have the Wolves pick. You're not tanking really. I think that they should get another center, a vet, but I think they should use all their big tool money right now on, if we're talking TPE and MLE, you go guards and wings. That's clear.
Nice. Okay. Last question before we get out of here. Someone in the chat is throwing in Evan Fournier and all these TP options. Like, I guess you just hit on it, but it's worth mentioning. Like, do you actually think they're going to, because someone like Evan Fournier would cost a pick. Do they do that sort of stuff? Or are we really looking at like, they can't really go all in if the Clay news is as negative as people are assuming it will be?
I think you protect your future. You don't shed picks for 1 year, 32-year-old rentals type. Players. I do. I think you should be able to find somebody out there that's not going to cost much. I mean, because the one you're helping a lot. Like, what's beneficial to the Thunder? Let's say if it's Oubre's on the table, not giving them money back. That is more. Like them taking Danny Green, although they ended up flipping him for Al Horford. They really did that for the pick. So you could probably, again, I keep mentioning Oubre. To me, now he makes even more sense.
Do you think OKC is willing to give him up for non-pick? I mean, they own all the picks.
I know, right?
And they do. I mean, it goes without saying, at this point, they haven't shed salary in a meaningful way. they're going to want to if they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, and like the oil industry in Oklahoma is not great. Obviously, the pandemic has altered a lot of priorities from ownership. I think particularly if you're not saying they're not even sending Looney back, I think Presti would do one of those things where like you can really protect the future first round pick, right. but the press release says you gave up a first round pick almost.
Right.
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
Top 29 protected.
Yeah, essentially. And then it moves to like 26 seconds.
Right. So he gets the press headline, but he knows he's getting a second.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you coming on, Slater. I mean, there's not much else to talk about here.
Sounds like a funeral in here, right?
Get back. Yeah.
I don't know what else yet.
Sam was crying earlier. You missed out. Sam was crying. He had tears rolling down his face. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I was Bob Myers at the KD press conference.
Yeah,
oh no.
he looked like an OKC fan.
Hey, Bob Myers is having a press conference in about 3 hours where we might get some more news, and I'm very curious about what he has to say about Clay. So
yeah, curious. I'm sure you already know. We're not saying anything on the stream.
I know what you're saying, but still, just how they message it, how they talk about how it affects their plans the next few days. I mean, what's crazy is like we're talking post draft, obviously. Well, during the draft, it's still like the 14th.
Yeah, we're at the 14th pick right now, just to be clear.
Free agency's in like 36 hours or something.
I'm curious. Yeah, and you talked about this at first too. I'm curious how the Warriors are going to take free agency, because part of me was like, do they just kind of do another tank season? But they kind of can't. Like, that's not really part of it. That can't be what they're trying to do. But then it's also like they can't win a championship without Klay Thompson. Like, they can't, unless you tell me James Wiseman is Anthony Davis, right? It's like, that's not happening. Maybe for another couple years.
No, but you
have to. Yeah,
you go be as good as you can, and maybe you're a 4 seed, and maybe you're in the second round, and maybe the team you're playing has their star player spraining his ankle, and this game 2, and Draymond has a great. You have to go for it.
I guess the Warriors could technically look at 2 lottery picks in next year's like unbelievable draft. Like,
we're not going there right now.
All right. Yeah, we are down a dark path.
That would require the Steph injury of last year. Remember, they were going for it last year even without Klay. So until Steph goes down.
I guess last year they thought that Klay was going to be back for the last month, which is kind of unlikely, right? But like they were kind of like hoping for that. If that thing is like, if he's done, which may be the case, like he's not coming back. Like, he's not coming back for the playoff run. Like, that thing's not happening. And so then it's like you said, it's like, all right, then get Avery Bradley on the MLE, try to trade for Kelly Oubre, trade that late first, and try to go from there and try to figure it out.
Try to turn Wiggins into a fringe all-star. Try to turn Wiseman into the rookie of the year, and hope Draymond is,
Before we get out of here, let's talk Klay for one more minute here.
Okay.
Okay. So Klay's, he's missing a year here. Do you really not feel that confident about the news of him going forward?
No, I mean, it's everyone you talk to is like pretty despondent about it. The only thing I've seen so far is like Shams mentioned the heel, which was
plantar fascia.
Yeah. It doesn't sound good. I mean, we all know it.
Right.
It doesn't sound good. I can't say anything that's like, I can't confirm to you what it is.
Right.
But you know how these injury things work. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel too confident because I've yet to see Shams tweet something like that and then get a follow-up that is ankle sprain 2 weeks, but
it's there are stories in the history of sports or recently where the worst case is believed, and then the next day, the day after, it's like, well, it's bad, but it's not that bad. So it's not out of the realm. I mean, maybe
in my mind, I'm thinking of KD's first year, the Wizards game, where there was fear that he
broke his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought he was crying that night. That like the MRI, he thought his season was over. There's stories of him like
March on the verge of playoffs.
Yeah. So you're right. Yeah, no, that's a good example of that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's the only one I can really think of in recent history of someone who kind of everyone thought it was going to be something worse than it was. And
Yeah, that's true. I mean, remember the first KD one in the playoffs against Houston where we thought
Sure.
it was the Achilles,
right.
Yeah.
and then it was like, no, it's like deep lower calf. I mean,
Sure.
obviously it turned out to be, you know,
It was Achilles.
well,
Yes.
but, you know, rehab to the point where he was awesome in the first 12 minutes of a finals game, and then disaster strikes. But
Right.
I don't, you know, maybe that's your greatest hope, that it's like a lower really pop calf.
Actually, Sharp came on Slater and talked about Bradley Beal and talked about maybe that's the guy that the Warriors may have to go all in on right now if they want a chance at this year and take advantage of Steph and Draymond.
Yeah. I'm about to go processes and write about all this, including talking to Meyer. So we'll see. I think it just go for it. You know, who knows? Who knows what happens? You know what else happens? Other injuries across the league, like landscapes change. And the Warriors and Joe Lacob himself have gone way too long without seeing good competitive stakes basketball, high stakes basketball. They can't afford to do what they did last season, which is sleep. Basically.
Yeah, and that's not something that they were trying to do anyway, like you said. So, so they will pay $80 million in taxes for Kelly Oubre for it to happen if necessary, and I'm okay with that. Not my money.
Think about what they've played Clay the last 2 years. First
I'm
2
sure
years.
Joe
Think about
tells
what
you
they're
that off the record in every interview.
Yeah, think about what they got to pay Draymond for the next 4 years for whatever the fuck.
Okay, all right, you guys can get deep into that. I'm gonna go right.
Appreciate you coming
Slater,
on.
thank you
Good
so
luck.
much.
Later.
All right, man.
I mean, now we're deep into hoping everyone's misdiagnosing.
Well, hey, okay, Sam. We've got
What?
it's 6:30 p.m. Pacific.
I gotta change my background here.
Change your background. We still have, as I was saying literally half an hour ago, we still have gift boxes to hand out.
Oh, we haven't done this yet.
Yeah,
good point.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We
right.
have 5 gift boxes to hand out. Thank you to Sheed and Warriors World. We need to figure out how the hell we're going to give them out. So I'm thinking like questions. Like I'm thinking like we bring some people on, right? We can probably go for another half an hour, another hour, but
Yeah. Let's
gotta figure
do
out a
that.
way.
Let's do that. Ben, come on here real quick. I have to run away from the screen real quick. And then for the next 30 minutes, we're going to do giveaways to listeners. So keep the chat popping. And, you know, you guys have been great the whole show. So it's about rewarding the people who've been here the whole time and figuring out who's getting that Warriors World gift box. I've gotten a Warriors World gift box in the past. It's a lot of good stuff.
yeah, we still have a lot of people that are still on here. So shouts to that. Despite the fact that we're on pick 14 now, and I don't think the Warriors are going to do anything here for the rest of the night. So let's go through some questions. I don't know where Sam went. Let's go through some questions. Whatever, just fire them off. We're gonna have to pick out who we want to give it out to at some point here and just write it down. And let's just kind of go from there. What's going on draft wise? What's Woj up to? Yeah, the Warriors have 2 more picks in the second round, by the way, which like they're not gonna do. We're talking about Isaiah Stewart now with pick 16. Minnesota looks like they're acquiring Ricky Rubio. They get Rubio back.
Ricky's back home.
Yeah, Ricky's back home.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. All right, let's go through a little bit. Do you think Anthony Slater knows the diagnosis? No, nobody knows the diagnosis. But I think what a lot of the Warriors reporters and media, what they're hearing is just how the people in the Warriors front office and people around the Warriors feel about what's going on. And I don't think it's optimistic. So I think a lot of what he's basing it off of, and a lot of perhaps what we're basing it off of, is just how people around the team feel about Klay Thompson. There is no diagnosis that we know of. Fred VanVleet 1 year. Stop it. Are the Warriors about to trade up? I doubt that. Can we get James Wiseman on the podcast? Yeah, that'd be great. I can speak Mandarin. I speak Cantonese though, so it's a little bit different. How many more picks
That was
does
our only
Golden-
shot.
Yeah, what's that?
That was our only shot.
Yeah, I know. I don't do Mandarin. Which K-pop song you listen to right now the most? Ooh, I might have to give this guy. I'm listening to Twice right now. They have a new album out. A pretty good album. What flavor pod you hitting? It's nicotine. It's mango snow cone. It's not weed. I don't smoke weed, so it's just pure. It's easy because I don't have to walk outside and smoke a cigarette. It's probably something I need to quit. How high can Steph carry this roster with no Clay, Mike Meekus, four seed, 6 seed? I wish Sam was here because I love this question. Looking forward, I'm going to assume here, operate on the assumption that Clay's out for the season. Again, it depends on who they're going to pick up. But I think they're still in contention for the second half of the playoff seeding, like 4 to 8. Like, I think they're still okay there. I think there's enough if they end up using the mid-level exception and TPE to get like decent players, like I'm talking about average players. Those are guys that that's good enough to get them into the playoff contention.
All right, let's do this.
I've been taking questions. I've been doing K-pop questions, Sam. So you might want to take over here before I steer the wheel in a different way.
Okay.
Hey, Sam, Mike Meekus, how high can Steph carry this roster with no Clay? I think that's a great question.
Who's on the roster?
I'm going to assume like average players at every position that they're going to pick up with TP and mid-level. So what? You want to say Marc Gasol or maybe Aaron Baines?
Mark's not average, but yeah.
Yeah, he might be average. He's 55 years old. But like I'm going to say average players.
Far enough. Second round, probably.
Yeah.
No more. Like, I mean, Draymond's the one who really suffers here because he's kind of a looter and a riot in many ways. Like he's
sure. Oh boy.
I mean, I'm just gonna be real. What does he do without spacing? It's a question.
I have no answer for that.
All right, cool.
I have no answer for that.
Let's move this. Actually, I have an idea. I'm gonna ask a question here. So the first person who answers this correctly in the chat will get the first gift box. Okay. How's that sound?
Yeah.
We're gonna change the mood because Slater leaves and we're all getting into sad boy mode with well, I mean, we're all sad. Let's be real here. All right. I'm trying to think of this question off the top of the head here. All right. Who was the last player to start at point guard for the Warriors before Steph Curry was drafted? And it's not Monte Ellis because he was shooting guard. So who is the last player to start at point guard for the Warriors before Steph Curry was drafted? I also have to look it up. Do you know the answer, Andy?
Wow. Who was the last player?
I mean, literally, I'm talking about who was the starting point guard at the last game of the 08-09 season.
Like, first thing that comes to mind is like, I almost said Marcus Williams. Okay, we got a ton of answers here. Wow.
All right.
Who is it, Sam? Tell me. I was going to say Marcus
Williams.
Williams.
In a second.
We've got a ton rolling in. AC Law, Monte, Jarrett Jack. It's not Jarrett Jack. CJ Watson.
Whoever said CJ Watson, you are the winner.
Wow, CJ Watson.
And that was actually going to be my guess, but the first CJ answer is
M. Roos.
Who is it?
M. Roos. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to text
write that down. If you are on Twitter, DM Andy or me, and we will start coordinating how you can get a gift box. Great answer.
Yep.
All right.
Wow, that's good. CJ Watson, the king of stepping in for the long two, by the way.
A thing that defines bad teams is players who love to step in for the long two.
That's a great question. What should be the next one? Let's come up with the next one.
Let's go with the next. What are you thinking? I'm going to let you. Maybe Ben can help us out here with some questions. We're doing this off top of the head. Okay.
Yeah, we're just rolling right now. We've got four more.
It was Julian Obedo, by the way, who had the correct question, the correct answer. So Julian, DM Andy or me, and we will get you. We'll get your address and send you the gift packet that you deserve.
Yeah, light years trivia show. I do like this, Sam.
I know.
do like
I really wish we prepped for this, so that's on us. We
No,
apologize.
no. We're good. Now we got to do something a little bit personal. Let's see who actually knows Sam Esfandiari and Andy Liu. How about that? Let's
Okay.
All right. So we've got 4 more gift boxes left. We've got 4 more left. We've got 4 more left. And this is going to be for the people. This is going to be for the people who knows us best. I'm going to go first, and then you can go second, so you can think about it a little bit.
Okay.
For me, it's pretty easy. All right. So who is my favorite K-pop singer at the moment?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. Who is my favorite K-pop singer at the moment? Somebody said just EDM. That's funny. Yeah, you got to do a housing one, Sam, after this one. Ooh, A-Pink close. Wow. Somebody said UI. Should I go UI or IU? Yeah, we've got
Malika Andrews. There we go.
Malika Andrews. I'm gonna give it to Mark Riley because he said UI, but that's close to IU, who's my favorite. So Mark Riley, can you tweet at or DM either Light Years Pod or I or Sam? We got some great fucking answers. Scott Murphy, answer is nobody cares. Yeah, fair enough. All right, Sam, you're next. That's 2 gone.
I've said this on the pod multiple times. Who is my first favorite basketball player? I'm in my mid-30s. I grew up in the Bay. It's not Smash Mouth. Oh, Kevin, I appreciate the grift pulling the Iranian card.
Chris
Oh,
Webber,
there we go.
Kid. Yeah, we got one. I think we got
From
it.
Cabbage 160. I don't know who that is. Jason Kidd is the correct answer.
Wow.
That is the correct answer as my first favorite player. Michael Jordan is my favorite player, but Jason Kidd was the first one that I was like, that's my guy. So if you Cabbage 180, message me or Andy, and I will get you a gift basket. Ben, you got a question?
Yeah, we got to do one for Ben. Hell yeah.
I'm trying to think of a question that doesn't involve me plugging my own podcast.
Please.
No. Okay. When did you can probably look this up, so that'll be an easy one. When is my first article published for Warriors World?
Ooh, I like this one.
You know, right now you can Google it. So
that's a tough one.
Wow, somebody said 2016. I don't think that's right. 08, 2013.
No.
2017, 2013, 2012. Wow,
well, let me see. See if anyone's got it.
People are just throwing years out there.
2012 is the correct answer. So
who had the first 2012 answer?
Tasso Kodanidas.
There it is. Neil, write that down. Congratulations.
Wow, Mike Meekus, November 29th, 2012. He for sure Googled that.
All right, we're going with one last one. We're going to do
one last one.
We're doing Warriors trivia here. Actually, is that 1 or 2?
One more. We've got 4 right now, I think.
Okay. In the infamous Game 1 against the Spurs in 2013, where Steph Curry scored 42 points in a loss because the Warriors gave away 44 points in a loss and gave away a ridiculous game. Who blew the defensive assignment on Manu Ginobili's game winner?
Oh, I know this right off the top.
Yeah, I know you do.
Oh, this is disgusting.
I love the Richard Jefferson answer, but no. He blew the free throw line.
He blew everything. He's the worst.
Who blew the assignment on Manu Ginobili?
Ekpe Udo, you were disgusting, whoever said that.
Whoever said Jared Jack. We going Jared Jack? I need Andy's opinion on this. Was it Jared Jack or Kent Bazemore?
I was gonna say Jared Jack, but
I agree with you. I actually hadn't talked with you about it in
Okay.
5 to 7 years. So
I was gonna say Jared Jack, but I'm not sure. Now we got to figure out who actually said it first.
I think Zach Baum had it first.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at it right now. Zach Baum had
I'm
it
looking at it
first.
right now. So
Zach Baum, premium listener, by the way. Always good to see a premium listener getting
yeah,
on.
we're trying to give it. So
Bobby Sura. Some of you guys.
it was. Let's talk about this real quick before we get out of here because it might be dark when we get the Clay news. Jared Jack blew the switch. Is that correct?
I mean, I'm gonna say yes. Feel free to guys.
I feel like
Kent
Kent Bazemore got hung out to dry having to guard two guys at once because Jared Jack went with the wrong player. But I'm going to let Andy, Coach Andy, Dr. Coach Andy.
Doctor. I'm gonna say in that scenario, it's probably Jared Jack for not calling it out, but I'd have to watch the video again. God, it's been like 7 years, right? But that was a series. I think if we're looking back at the good times, you look at the Warriors and you're like, yeah, that's a team that's going to be legitimate. Because remember, Steph twisted his ankle that series. You remember that? Like they were a team that probably could have pushed the champion Spurs to 6 games, 7 games even. So certainly a team that was ready to go, ready to be a dynasty. We just didn't know. Ken Bazemore about to be starting shooting guard opening night. Yeah, it could be possible. It could very much be possible. Ken Bazemore might be the starting shooting guard.
And with that, we also have our first trade. The Clippers are trading Landry Shamet to the Nets for the 19th pick.
Good for KD and Kyrie. They just got a guy that can just stand in the corner and
the dude's gonna be miserable in the corner. Should we get out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here. Why don't we spend like a minute and do some closing thoughts? I'll start. Yeah, this Klay Thompson news is obviously tough. I think we're operating under the assumption that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. We have no idea. But I do think the bright side is the Warriors made the right pick with James Wiseman. I think he's the guy that has the highest floor. I also think he's the guy with the highest ceiling. I don't think you can tell me that LaMelo Ball has a higher ceiling than James Wiseman. So he's the right pick. He's a great fit with Steph Curry. As Steph Curry gets a little bit older, he has a little bit of safety valve there. And a guy that can be a defensive of the year player. Keep in mind that James Wiseman's, I think, a little bit of a floor that people were saying that he could be Clint Capella defensively. And I think that that's really like all the Warriors need right now. So those are my thoughts.
My thoughts are the Clay news is depressing. I don't really know where else to go with it. Like, I like Wiseman. I'm excited to see it. But like, until we know what's up with Clay, it's not the show I was hoping to do today. That's all I'm going to say. It's not the show I was hoping to do today.
It is not the show we're hoping to do, but I think it's still going to be an exciting Warrior season. And honestly, let's wait for the Clay news, right? Like, let's wait. Let's see. We don't know. But I do think the Warriors are set up pretty well in the future here.
Absolutely. All right. We appreciate all you guys. We're going to throw this on the pod feed if you only caught part of it or, if you didn't catch any of it, in which case you're not listening right now.
All right, man.